Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games.
Bob, we've got a job.
Good. KZ Excellent.
Catchphrase.
And Mr. Feel.
Poison. Toxic. Caught the plague. Cursed.
Here on GigaBoots.
Bob, across our many Horizon Forbidden West streams, I made an observation.
Yeah.
If I eat normal food, food humans should eat, before the stream, it goes pretty great. I also made an inverse observation. If I eat the land, sea, and air from McDonald's, I will wish I was dead.
Yeah, that thing's not meant for human consumption. You built it. You built it out of other smaller McDonald's sandwiches.
Yeah. It's really screwed up that they put this thing on their menu. I've mentioned it before. I'll mention it again. A land, sea, and air is a Whopper.
No, it's
Big Mac.
Big Mac. Yeah.
Sorry, God. They're the same burger in my head for my entire life.
It's really funny that it's happened both times.
Oh, yeah, no, it's consistent. I have very, very specific pairings of words that I swap, but that one at least makes sense. The others don't. Anyways, so it's a Big Mac Whopper.
It's
Close
a bopper.
enough.
It's a bopper.
It's a sock and bopper.
It is a sock and bopper, a McChicken, and a Filet-O-Fish sandwich. They give you all of this. You're supposed to waste a huge amount of bread. You're supposed to waste 4 total buns.
Yeah, it's literally 2
Jesus.
sandwiches worth of buns.
Yeah, so I made a bun sandwich.
I forgot that it also did the chicken and not just the fish. So it's just,
Yeah.
it's a homunculus of 3 sandwiches.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe I called it turducken of McDonald's meals.
Yeah, and then someone got upset because they're like, fuck you, turducken's good. And I'm like, you know what? They're probably right. It's definitely more okay than this.
I mean, yeah, that's something you cook. This is a McDonald's item.
This is made by Tony Stark in a cave to end his own life.
With a box of scraps.
The land, sea, and air is terrible. It made me it gave me a headache. It was disgusting. It was barely possible to eat the whole sandwich. The thing started disintegrating in my hands. 'Cause it's not designed to like it's like one of those mutants that's too big and its organs and support structures aren't enough to support it. So it just starts caving in on itself, this terrible, disgusting sandwich. But I ate the whole thing. Anyway, so I'm not letting chat vote on what I eat ever again.
Or at least you make the options and they be options you're okay with.
I figured they were going to say no. Chat says they always have my back and they care about my well-being, and I think I let them show their true colors on that day.
No, not especially when it comes to food. This is something funny, and you're going to talk about it on a podcast.
To be fair, I'm shocked that they didn't ballot stuff with money. It just won by popular vote. I was shocked.
Yeah, there were sickos watching that Horizon stream.
Which makes sense. I think that was the 3rd Horizon stream in 5 days total.
Something like that.
Because we did 4 streams that were all over 10 hours across 5 days. We've beaten Horizon Forbidden West. That is a thing we can say. Feel has also been playing Horizon Forbidden West.
Yes.
I think it is time to talk about Horizon Forbidden West, one of the best AAA noble gases. A completely inert AAA experience, but dang, is that thing gorgeous. It is unreal how good the game looks.
This might be the ultimate stereotype of a Sony game because it is. I'm going to keep using this term, immaculate super game.
Yeah.
It is colossal. It is polished. It looks immaculate. The second Elden Ring releases, I will delete all memory of it from my brain.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's why I'm playing it second.
That's very nice of you.
Everybody makes the jokes about it happening again, and I think it's worse this time because at least Breath of the Wild was limited by the Switch launch and not being on everything.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah, and everyone knows I'm not the biggest fan of Souls games, but even playing through Forbidden West, even I, as someone who isn't trying to be cruel, is just like, man, that world's so much more interesting. Dang it. But this game looks amazing, and the cities often have amazing looking art design, right? Like they have They have a giant city in it that's like a tree city, but it's surrounded by an awesome array of solar panels and all these other things. There are other cities I could talk about, but I'm not going to get into because, we've beaten the game. I don't want to talk about stuff 38 hours in or something.
Right.
It took us around, I haven't actually added it up, but I think it was about 44 to 46 hours to beat. Something like that. Yeah, it was a chunk.
That was probably a mistake.
Yeah, you really went in for the grind like I did for SMT5 and will do for Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Of just like, keep going. Except you pre-gamed each time.
Yeah, we beat Cuphead by finally playing it at the beginning of every stream. We started a Let's Play 4.5 years ago, never revisited it. But I was like, no, it's happening. We're beating this. I think it's obvious why by now, but who knows? Maybe there was a last-minute decision. It's not obvious by now why. But yeah, no, Horizon, almost every last thing we talked about when we beat the first game of why we were a little disappointed or we didn't think it was the world's most amazing game, they fixed in the sequel. The skill tree has skills instead of basic functionality. In the first game, this is no hyperbole. In the first game, you have to get a skill to be able to aim and shoot an arrow if you're on a tightrope. A thing that's like all over that game.
Right. It's like, this is just a basic way things should work.
You have to buy the ability to stealth kill someone if you're hanging off a ledge.
Yeah.
You have to buy countless skills in Zero Dawn that are just really basic things.
Yeah, I think Horizon 1 might be one of the worst defenders of basic functionality as a level up reward.
Yeah, you're rewarded because you discover 20 hours in that our game doesn't just have the weirdest blind spot in human history for what should be functionality. And then you go, oh, great, I'm glad I used skill points on this 20 hours in. First game, for record, took us about 21 hours to beat. Second game, as I said, 44 or 41, somewhere in that range.
We were a lot more just doing whatever.
It's true.
In the sequel.
We did do more side content. I wouldn't say it's anywhere near 20 hours worth.
Probably not, no.
Nowhere near.
Yeah, this does just seem bigger.
Yeah, it's a huge game. The story's so much better told. In the first game, you do the dialogue with everyone everywhere, and your character looks like they have sleep paralysis, but someone propped them up. And they're just trying to talk at each other with moving their jaw as little as possible. And in this, you have gestures, you have leaning and looking around and all this stuff. For every conversation in the entire game, everything is spoken. It is so nuts. There's so much money. There's so much technology. It's completely insane. But at the end of the day, for me, the world of Horizon doesn't really... After beating it completely, the world of Horizon isn't as exciting as it could have been. I don't really feel a whole lot about the game looking back on it. But it was a very cool experience, and by God, it's one of the most gorgeous games ever made. So, it's one of those things of like, it's very well made. There are all these improvements from the first one, like mechanically and how story's told and all these other things. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if I walked away liking Elden Ring more. Like, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Bob, how do you feel?
It's one of those situations of it's like, you did everything better than last time. Still not good enough. I'm sorry.
You did so much better.
And also,
you're not in the first string.
Yeah, you're still not a top 10 sort of game of the year sort of thing. I don't think. we haven't played anything else this year, basically, but I can't imagine this making a top 10. The first 8 hours, I was super hyped. I was like, this seems great. This seems great. It seems like they've learned things. And that kind of we got back into a mode of, Aloy will be the least interesting character, maybe in any video game ever.
She's built different.
Yeah,
That's the thing you need to learn about her.
Nothing, apparently.
Yeah, literally nothing.
Yeah.
So you guys beat Horizon Zero Dawn and then like right before this.
Yes.
Yeah, we did that and Frozen Wilds. Yeah.
Is Aloy insufferable in that? Because I feel like there's like a big increase in how much I hate her talking in what I've played of Forbidden West, where she just comes off like she's like, it's hard to explain. She just sounds like she's so sick of everybody, but they're people like being nice to her.
Okay, let me, this isn't huge spoilers for Forbidden West, so I'm going to describe what I perceive as the arc of the first few hours of Forbidden West. In Horizon Zero Dawn, Aloy has no-sailed every person remotely interested in her. The first hour of this game is her continuing to do that, And the first 8 hours of Forbidden West is other people moving on and her being bitter. To some extent. It's very funny. She's not supposed to be likable in this game, but I think in Forbidden West she has more of a personality, because in Zero Dawn she almost like, it's amazing that you wrote so many paragraphs of speech for her, but she doesn't come across as having any personality at all. It's very bizarre, and I think that's a part of the element of why she started, coming across to me as sort of a self-insert young adult fiction novel main character. I think that was a part of it, because in 1 she's completely inert. Like, I don't feel anything other than I want her to stop ignoring larger problems to be like, but mommy.
Mommy.
That is a thing in Zero Dawn. Luckily, we moved past that in Forbidden West. And the game's about more interesting things. I could spend all day. There's music in this game, KZ.
There is, because the only thing I think of for Horizon is that one main theme where we're going,
Oh, there's tons of music in this. They have like synthesizers kick in for some things and crazy drums for others, and they have epic music kick in while me and Bob are hiding in a bush being like, damn it, go away. Stupid dinosaur.
I feel like I'm truly damaged when I think of epic music. Now I just think of the God of War theme song from the fucking PS2.
It's really good.
That's always what I think of. Do.
Yeah, it's always that. It just reverberates in my brain of, I don't know, what's a Western video game soundtrack sound like, that or Uncharted?
Yeah. No, that's largely true, but this one actually has some pretty cool fight music.
I'm willing to believe that. I feel like they can definitely get a lot better in that.
Also, the cutscenes are much better than they were in the first one, because on PS4 they're pre-rendered. A lot of them have to be pre-rendered because they jump all over the environment.
Yeah, I do know that the opening sequence is kind of crazy, where it's just jumping between multiple areas, because I did skim one of those graphics analysis things.
Yeah. This is in the trailers. This is very obvious about the conceited game. So Aloy goes to the Forbidden West in this game.
No way.
As a part of that, there's a montage of just cutting across all of the stuff you saw in the first one. But in PS5, it's real time. And on PS4, it's a pre-rendered movie. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, you got to make those concessions where they make sense.
Actually, you would be surprised. They could just do the PS4 cutscenes real time, and the PS5 has to deal with, well, Aloy's going to walk really slow. It's going to be like the Lords of Shadow walking across the map cutscene.
No! Now, that'd be good.
That would be very funny.
Instead of a robot bird, it's just like a real-ass bird.
Yes. And it just flies you, and you stare, and then a map superimposes behind you.
Let's go. More games need to be like that. It's like you finish the section in Horizon and then immediately zooms out to the book. Like the end of a Lords of Shadow level.
Poor Talana. She was so upset. I killed her.
You know what? I want a level of narration that we got in Lords of Shadow for silence.
I'm now just like, man,
What's up?
Lords of Shadow sucks.
Yeah.
But the characters are better than the Horizon characters, and that's insane.
Oh no! What?
Oh no! Are you saying that Zobek dabs on every character in Horizon?
I think Zobek's more interesting than pretty much anything in this game, which is kind of crazy.
Look, they're more strongly characterized. They're freaking idiots.
Yes.
Everyone in Lords of Shadow is brain dead.
Obviously.
Yeah, but Zobek's funny. He's
The
coming.
story could not exist if not everyone in that game was the dumbest motherfucker on earth.
Yeah.
I have to admit that if Lance Reddick isn't talking, I'm mashing through the dialogue.
That's rough.
Yeah, it's
Only he deserves my respect.
every hour or less, you'll run into something where there's a dialogue wheel of like 10 options to talk to each person about. And it's always like, man, this is just an info dump. That doesn't feel good. That doesn't characterize.
I started
them.
calling them lore bricks because we would enter a room and it would be like, eat this.
I really liked the lore dump of the one guy who he's literally like, do you want to hear my backstory while we wait for this thing to happen? At the very beginning.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wow, you're a great character with a really interesting backstory. I'm sure you'll be a great supporting cast character for this video game.
You're turning into the Doge meme.
Oh man. The
Casey,
funny
they
thing,
kill this character literally the second he stops talking.
I know the way you talk about that implies yes, they're gonna get shot in the fucking head.
Yeah, it's really dire because they will do that all the time, but they won't usually kill them like that.
the funny thing is, like, when they did that, when they murked that dude, I was like, well, I'm really, really glad we asked him everything.
Yeah, we don't get a second chance.
Glad we can close that book.
He has like 10 minutes of backstory, but he gives you like 4 chances to tap out.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
It's insane.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, it was really cool when he did it, and a couple other times in the game it's really cool, but, you know, we kind of ran into pacing problems where there was a stream where across 3 hours we ate, how many lore bricks was it, like 4?
Something like that.
So at some point, most of that 3 hours was us just talking and listening to someone explain their backstory, and that would be fine if it was just a linear scripted sequence of them telling their backstory, but that's not how Horizon writes things. Horizon writes things where the person says a bit and then you can ask them about 5 different things, and almost everything they say in all 5 of those things will be things they said in the others of those 5 things. So they're mostly just repeating themselves 4 times over.
Yeah,
It's
they all have
rough.
to bounce off of Aloy, who is, again,
Inert.
yeah. Stone wall.
Sterile.
Not even in the face of Armageddon. Yeah, it's the pacing got a little rough there, and that wasn't even because we were rushing it. That was we did like
No, we were locked in that.
We did 1 or 2 story missions.
Yeah, that after you finish that story mission, you get locked in that, which
Yeah.
is ludicrous.
He was kind of nuts.
The walls come down.
Yeah, but you know, once again, as I say, this is a drastically better game than the first. I don't know how people are playing at 30 hertz.
Oh, yeah, we tried that like twice, and it's
Pro tip feel. I would recommend turning off the motion blur in performance mode because it actually just looks better that way, in my opinion.
yeah, the motion blur just looks bad.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah, I don't like their motion blur in this. And I'm not a guy who generally is like, oh, motion blur, turn it off, it looks bad. Hey, Rocky.
I was about to say, what the fuck is this?
It's me, Bullwinkle Video Game.
Nice.
I hate chromatic aberration. Break the TV.
Do you want a picnic basket? Like, what's going on?
I'm not that type of guy. Like, I like motion blur in games that do it well. You know, like Overwatch's motion blur looks good. Doom Eternal's looks sublime. Turn off that motion blur. Just turn it off in the performance mode and it instantly looked better. Something about their motion blur solution just does not look right. And I don't know how to describe it other than the shutter speed's wrong and it looks fake as hell. Like, that's all I can describe it as. But, you know, whatever. The game is an immaculate super game. It's really funny feel now that you've played, like, how many hours did you play? You said 20?
Like 20. Somewhere around there.
Definitely look up the Digital Foundry PS4 to PS5 comparison. It's the funniest it's ever been.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
As it turns out, when you're an immaculate Sony game and you're aiming at PS5, but you still need to ship a PS4 copy, the contrast is so unbelievably stark. Like, you can see the individual crevices of the mountains in the distance on the PS5. It's
You just
absolutely insane.
see the seams.
You can see, like, I was punching in with our 4K capture card because it's a lossless capture card in the stream, and I'm like, guys, I can't even see this, and I'm in the room with the TV. Like, I would have to be right in front of the TV to see this much detail. And then you switch into PS4, and the mountains are melting.
Yeah, it's impressive how much work they did to get that thing running on PS4.
Yeah, no, it's very clear. Like, I agree with Digital Foundry's conclusion that they started with the PS4 version of this and just made it work on, PS5 version of this and made it work on PS4 because it's
there's like the progression blocker that you have to get, like the Metroidvania type items to get through, like the flowers you have to blow up.
yes.
Do those just take like 5 times as long to explode on PS4?
I have to wonder.
Yeah, who knows?
That was too late in the game for them to check. Digital Foundry. Maybe someone else did. Yeah, it's to the point of, like, leaves look immaculate on the PS5. Like, the way they have subsurface scattering, the fidelity of it looks so crisp. Then you look at it on a PS4 and it's like, I don't know, a 38th the resolution. It's a blob. And it's funny as hell. Like, but yeah. Anyways, I've basically said everything I want to say about the game other than the bolt caster rules. That gun that just shoots rapid fire. That thing's really cool. It's a big risk, big reward sort of thing. I do wish we could have gotten more spear upgrades because we only got one new spear the whole game.
Come on. They keep doing this. Why can't I? They put in a melee tree. Why can't I also upgrade the spear?
I don't know. Maybe we just didn't find it. A lot of this stuff, I'm like, maybe somehow, because as Bob said, we didn't exactly beeline the story. We went and did things like Machine Strike, which is the cool board game Horizon Forbidden West that freaking rules. And I hope they do a Gwent thing and they release it outside of the game. Because,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be really cool. In fact, I would like that more than this game. As cruel as that sounds, I think building that out into its own entire game would be amazing. But yeah, we only ran into one person who makes Machine Strike pieces in the entire game, and we only found one spear that was better than our starting one in the entire game. That could just be our experience, but I don't know anyone who's run into more than one Machine Strike carver, so I don't know anymore. And this wouldn't be a problem if I didn't get the exact same experience I got growing up being poor and being into Magic the Gathering, where it's like, and then you meet the guys who have the shit they paid money for off of eBay. And they mulch you.
Yeah, that happens,
Yeah.
I'm glad I wasn't into competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah. Because otherwise I'd be like, Mom, can I have $500 for Dark Arm Dragon?
And she would be like, no.
I'm sorry. It's not that bad, and it could be worse. I think that's the worst it's ever been, though.
Yeah. Yeah, luckily, some of my experience with Magic the Gathering, some cards were cheap online when I was growing up, so. But anyway, Bob, do you have things to say about... Oh, yeah, I want to say one last thing, because I feel like people misinterpreted, or would assume otherwise, because people assume things. We didn't have a game plan at the beginning of this to play the whole game on stream. We sat there and said, if it's just more Zero Dawn, just return it to GameStop.
Yeah. I remember that plan where you're like, we're going to play and we're going to see how it goes. And when I came back the next day and saw it up here, I'm like, oh, the game must be all right.
Yeah, we were like, if it's more Zero Dawn or if it's not, remarkably better, then we can just use the Guaranteed Love It program to trade it back in for full value. I think Bob had to let the employee know existed. I can't remember. It's
something like that.
It's so awkward working there so long and then coming back and the person at the counter doesn't know. But anyway.
Yeah, now instead it's like, yeah, the first 20 hours we were having a lot of fun, and now I'm like, I need to return this right now.
Bob's like, oh no, it's too late.
Yeah.
I was sealed in the Pharaoh's tomb. I legitimately enjoyed the game, but at the end of 40 plus hours of playing it or whatever, I don't feel like the one thing I got out of it, the one thing I want to talk about is something I could talk about with no one unless they beat that game. I can't post about it on Twitter. It's not functional knowledge outside of that. And since it's not, I'm overjoyed by this series of events. It's more like I want to talk to people about this. It's a little rough. It's a little rough.
Oh no, this is bad and this is on the game that's going to get like stricken from the Amala records.
Yeah, the Jedi Archive's going to delete it.
Yeah,
absolutely. We'll go and look up what games came out this year on Wikipedia, and it won't be there.
It'll be like 7 weeks later. I will have finally played and finished, and I'm like, Dan, I want to talk about the thing. You're like, I already forgot.
Oh no, this is
Dan like breaks into the Tower of Babel and finds the Akashic records and like, where's this game? It's not here anymore.
It's not here. Where did it go?
Dan's like, I have to write in specific details and characters, or else they'll get lost by the time we get Game of the Year.
I'm like, if I don't write the wiki for the ending, some person will lie about it, just like with Killzone Shadowfall.
No. Now, I have to say this isn't story spoilers. And Dan, I don't want confirmation or denial.
Oh, of course.
And KZ, you probably shouldn't even look at Dan's face while I say this.
It's okay. I'm always aimed in a different direction.
That is true.
In that game of Premonitions, I was like, man, I really fucking hope Ted Faro isn't in this game at all. And then I start picking up the black box collectibles from Downed Plains. And on like 3 of them, apropos of nothing, Aloy starts cursing Ted Faro after this audio log plays that doesn't mention him at all. And I go, oh shit.
That is true. She does do that, and
she wouldn't. And
it makes chat think of Deacon.
I'm just. Yes. See, what made me think of Deacon is how every single time you talk to any character that's religious in this game, after Aloy leaves the conversation, she starts like deaconing about them.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. She does do that. She absolutely does deacon about it.
Spirit lives on. When you first mentioned the Ted Faro thing, I'm like, is this going to be like Timmy Turner's dad just going Dinkelberg?
Yeah, I was going to say the one thing though is at no point does she go full deacon, because Deacon, you know, he would murder people in a Fallout bunker. Hear Cope on the radio talk about how good Fallout bunkers are, and then scream at him about how stupid he is because he just committed a genocide. It's like, wait,
they're all dead now.
How much did that help them, Cope? And I'm like, what is wrong with you?
And then Deke will have some line later that's just like, everybody that was in a prison deserved to be there.
That's true. He did slip that in weirdly at one moment in that game.
The most boomer thing to be said in that entire game.
Yeah, Deacon's an interesting character.
My interpretation of Aloy isn't that she's a boomer like Deacon. It's that she's a Redditor.
She is, yeah.
Because, like, Casey, almost the first thing that happens this game is she screams, "I already told you God's not real," at someone.
Oh, no. Everything I hear about this game makes me go, oh, no.
Well, I mean, to be fair, when she is genetically identical to God, you know, she gets a bit of room to yell that.
Yeah, I know. It's just everything.
God. Here's another thing. Don't confirm or deny. Mm-hmm. It seems like the writers think that your personality is genetic.
Yes. It does seem like that, doesn't it?
I like how he just said, "Don't confirm or deny." And Bob's like, "Yes."
By which I mean, like, don't tell me if she has like an arc.
Yeah, not
it's just that, like, at the point I'm at now.
Yeah, even the earliest point in that game, that's the way it feels like.
Yeah, it's really bizarre.
Yeah, like even in the first game, it has that tone, and it's weird.
Yeah, Phil, I'm gonna say the cruelest thing I've ever said.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna need you to finish this game so we can talk about it.
I will. I can't promise when it will be because I'm going to eat every single piece of vegetable. But it will happen.
Understandable. Plus, you have Elden Ring coming out and just being like, "I'm a barrier."
where reviews go, "I'm not done yet. I played 65 hours."
Yeah. See, I'm gonna try to boot Horizon like tomorrow, and I'll just like crash into the Evangelion like honeycomb barrier.
Yes.
No.
One thing I wanted to say about Horizon.
Yeah.
It would be a lot more motivating when I'm exploring the world if I could find a weapon in the world. Anything other than lore dump or like random consumable.
They made like a weird half-assed RPG. They need to stop.
Everything that's in this game that's an RPG mechanic is like, the game would be better without you. Get out.
Yeah,
or go more and let me find weapons, let me find armor.
Yeah, I really don't like the shops in this one are still doing that thing where you have to go and find the pieces to buy a thing from a merchant.
Yeah, I'm fine with doing that to upgrade stuff, because then I know, like, oh, I like this thing. But it's literally like, oh, you need me to give you this special item to even be able to buy this bow?
Yeah,
that's stupid.
Like, for example, Bob really likes the shredder thing, which shoots out a disc, right?
Ooh.
I hate that fucking thing. If I went and found a part to make that, I'd be pissed.
You're like, I'd throw away the piece.
I'm like, that. These numbers don't make me impressed. This isn't getting me anywhere. Yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff in this, and you know, I do think if this was just a normal third-person shooter, something closer to Days Gone, it might actually benefit from that. Weirdly enough, I have. Me and other people clearly are having more issues in this game moving across the landscape on a mount. Like, it's just, they stop moving. The horse will just be like, I'm stuck. And I'm like, yeah, and we have 3 bears on our ass. Get moving.
I'm going to take a nap.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, the platforming in this, I also think is kind of bad. I think it's like this weird middle ground between, like, first of all, you need to, if you're playing this game, you need to go into the accessibility menu and turn on the always show where you can climb by default.
Yes,
Yes.
100%. Wish we
Because
had done
otherwise
that.
the game is unplayable. That should have been default. What the fuck is wrong with them?
See, that's what I'm saying too. I'm like, they literally should have defaulted that. It is literally that bad. It is literally that bad. We had a viewer come in and be like, "This looks like."
Let me describe this to KZ though.
Sure,
Let me describe this to
go
KZ.
ahead.
KZ, imagine you see a sheer cliff.
Okay.
Like just there is no like nothing that you could see that would be a handhold. There is a very specific like Uncharted canned animation path you can climb up this wall.
All right.
And normally you have to use your detective vision to see it, but there is a mode in accessibility that says like no, you just always see it.
Okay, let me double one up him. Okay.
All right.
Imagine you see two cliffs.
All right.
The right one has them, the left one doesn't.
Okay.
So unless you pulse, you wouldn't know which one's climbable at all. You would just jump into the left one and die. Okay, let me take it to the next level. Somebody came into chat and they were like, "This looks like Uncharted platforming. I hate Uncharted platforming." And I immediately go, I wish this was as good as Uncharted platforming. And within 4 seconds, what happens is we jump directly at a round peg on a wall that we have scanned to show that it is a thing we can hold. She smacks right into it and falls into her death.
Yeah, yeah, she
my
does
God.
that.
Yeah.
It's like this weird middle step between Uncharted cinematic platforming and like Breath of the Wild climbing and platforming, and the result is that a lot of times it'll just break.
Yeah, it breaks nonstop.
I've been playing it for 20 hours and I've like had 5 or 6 times where she did something I didn't want her to do or sticked too hard to something or wouldn't stick to something.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I were to say the two things that got worse between the last game and this one is weirdly enough, the platforming got worse in this one because they keep designing more things they expect you to be able to platform on there. The platforming's not good enough. And the mount's not moving across the environment smoothly ever. I mean, we must have a dozen times our mount just stopped.
Oh, they also do that unforgivable thing where it's like, we gave you a gliding thing. If you try to get clever with it, we just destroy you.
Yeah, no.
If you try to circumvent our platforming at all, you'll like hit an invisible wall, or we'll just go like, no, you didn't do this in order, so you won't grab that and I'll fall.
Yeah.
the glider already feels bad to even take out because they have it on a hold command.
Yeah,
and usually it just takes way too long.
I don't know why it isn't just.
It's like
This is a Genshin Impact thing, but I'm like, no, it should be the exact same button as Genshin Impact where you just press jump again instead of hold square.
Oh, yeah, hold square. And it's like, problem. Square is the button to drop off of a ledge. So if I'm trying to glide to a ledge I'm sort of near, but I'm not sure I'm going to make the jump, there's a chance that my parachute maybe deploys at the end, maybe it doesn't. And then instead of doing anything, I just drop to my death. It also, like, you drop at least 20 feet while you're waiting for the glider to come out.
Yeah, and the glider glides you at like a 30-degree angle.
It's the same speed you would get from walking.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, no, there's multiple layers of like
This, the gliding and the climbing both feel like responses to Breath of the Wild, where Breath of the Wild comes out like a week after the first Horizon. It's like traversing isn't as good in Horizon, and you can't climb on anything, so it kind of feels really restrictive. So they gave you 2 half steps that seem like they're really bad.
The glider is weird because sometimes I'll jump and I'll go really far and fast.
Oh.
And sometimes it's like, no, like we don't want you to have this much momentum going in this direction. Fall.
Yeah.
Which is a problem in general, where it's like, it's like there's multiple times where it's like, okay, I can make it to that platform. And then it goes, did you mean the edge of the platform? So cinematic force will now suck you down and kill all your momentum on this running jump and scare the shit out of you because you don't know what's happening.
Yeah. There's just a lot of stuff in that I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Just in general, when I go for a glide, I intend to go fast. And get as much distance as possible. So
it might be might be the worst glider I've felt in like an open world game that has them.
Yeah, it's hard to think of worse.
Yeah, it's rough.
Because even like the the like the wingsuit type stuff that Far Cry has, at least I know I'm gonna get an okay amount of speed in that type of game. I can't recall many other gliders I played where I'm like, that isn't very good. Like I played Zelda and I played Genshin a little bit when that first came out.
And the grappling hook is also feels like a weird band-aid that's not all the way done. They don't have anywhere near enough grapple points in the whole world. So it often just feels like, why can't I get anywhere quickly?
I honestly kept forgetting it was in because it's so infrequent when they put someplace on it so you can use it.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure the reason they were sparse with it is because you can do this thing where you launch up off it, and it felt like there was probably a lot more at some point or in some kind of conception. They were like, that breaks too much things.
Yeah.
Because you could launch up and then glide.
Right.
So it's like, we want to have all these cool traversal tools, but we want to design the game like we don't. So the game so that they all have to be bad.
Yeah, it's weird. I actually, in general, really hate traversing this open world, which is strange because I love traversing Death Stranding's open world. I played Death Stranding for like 81 hours and enjoyed the hell out of it and would play more. You get to build infrastructure. The moving across the environment feels realistic and good, even though, you're not super enabled. No. You're very encumbered at all times. But it just feels like shit here. The horse just stops randomly. Some things are climbable when they shouldn't be, and others aren't climbable when they should be. It's deeply frustrating.
Yeah, it sucks because that's like my favorite part of worlds that I like is just exploring them feels good. And
right.
This is the opposite of that.
That's the whole fucking point. It should be open world. To vibe. To just be like, I'm in this world. This is neat.
Oh, here's another Zelda comparison. And this is me being wrong.
Okay.
When I played Breath of the Wild, I was like, I think it would be okay if because in Breath of the Wild, they give you all your powers immediately.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't think it would be a big deal if they only had things you could do with powers that you get later. Then I play this game where they do that, and I'm like, no, that's the fucking worst.
Yeah, it is.
That is the absolute worst. Like Metroidvania style ability progression, like traversal progression, or I assume they're all something like keys in this. All just fucking keys.
Yeah, they are just keys
like
for the most part.
That is poison for an open world game like this. Me getting to a place and telling you can't do this yet. And it being so many things I've run up on, even at the start of the game. I'm like, this feels really bad. Why is there any of these places in the starting area of the game?
Yeah, there's also, they do that with the melee challenges too, of like, oh, I'm sorry, you can't do this until you get to that end of the skill tree for melee. It's like, what?
What if you gave me the melee ability and then I like practiced it and had a challenge at this arena?
No, that'd make too much sense.
Yeah. But I said basically everything I was going to say. We enjoyed the first two streams enough to get tricked, and that sounds cruel to the people who made this game, but that is literally what happened.
It's what it felt like. Yeah, it was just like, man, those last two streams really were just, we have to finish it now.
And I don't like, I didn't feel that way for the last two, but I certainly wasn't thrilled to continue the game at a certain point. Like it wasn't like as enjoyable as the first two parts were. Overall, I just say the game's kind of really passable. Like it's really unfortunate that it's releasing next to another amazing game.
No,
just like last time.
I saw Bob's tweet and I laughed where he's like, I don't feel bad at all.
Yeah, no, this is a game about giant robot dinosaurs. It's on them that it's not interesting. That's all of their fault.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You know what I do? I like the robot designs a lot more in this one, like the kangaroos that have like a funny whip tail.
Yeah,
I think
the kangaroo
those are really neat.
Yeah, and they have that cool attack where they grab you with it. Yeah. Yeah, no, the
combat in this is significantly improved because we ragged on the traversal. They did make the combat feel a lot better. You have melee options. I like the move where you can hit them and jump off them and then shoot them in the face. It's like your arrow will do more damage if you do this.
Hey, Bob.
Hey.
I gotta ask you something.
What's that?
And this isn't spoilers, but do you feel that way distinctly because of the ending?
Oh no!
I mean, that contributes.
It definitely does. It definitely does for me.
Yeah, like that does. That does a lot.
Yeah, that's why I need Feel to be.
You have me so concerned that it's dumber than Returnal.
I need you to eat all the green beans in this box. At the bottom of the box is a boxing glove on a spring.
Yeah. But Dan, it weighs 80 pounds.
That's because it's full of nutrients. Now fucking eat it.
It is just like the one Tim Rogers review for Death Stranding where he's like, Death Stranding is like eating 80 pounds of vegetables at gunpoint.
That game was delightful. Phil, I'm going to need you to end this game. Because
Okay, at
that's
some
why I asked
point
Bob
this
that.
year.
Because to me, right? To me, it does feel like I could walk away with how I feel about the ending being as cruel as Bob and being like, no, they deserve to get erased. Like Bob played the
there's
game.
so many points in that game where it's like you were on the cusp of being good.
Oh God, no! They do some really good shit, and then they don't. That's not how I'm going to describe it because any more specific would be bad.
We got to get out of here.
Yeah, we should move on.
I just wanted to close off my statement with asking Bob that question. Anyways,
I'm shivering.
understandable. I'm sorry you had to hear it.
Holy shit.
If only there was like a curtain I could pull so that way. Anyway, hey Bob.
Hey,
We played Cuphead. Cuphead's good. Everyone should play Cuphead. I enjoyed it immensely. Bob does not enjoy it as much as me, but more importantly, Bob does not enjoy multiplayer in it.
yeah, no, I think Cuphead visually is amazing. I don't get into the gameplay all that much though. I just don't like the way it feels. But I totally I'm down for playing it anytime.
Do you guys agree that a game journalist actively made that game worse by raising such hell about there not being levels that they added a couple really bad ones?
Oh yeah, that was the whole thing where it was only going to be bosses, and then the running guns came in because people were like, "There's no game here except for bosses."
Yeah, this isn't a real game. There's just bosses, and they listen to them at the trade shows.
And
I
think without fail, those are all the worst parts of the game.
Yeah.
I will be very interested if there's a single run and gun stage in Delicious Last Course.
I mean, yeah, I am also of the opinion the run and gun stuff is the least enjoyable.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was fine with them until I hit that one at the wharf.
I'm surprised that there's so many shmup levels. They're fine, but I don't like it as much as the regular gameplay.
I like the one shmup level where it's you see the pyramid and it's a diorama and they spin around it.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
I'm like, okay, all the shmup levels can live to service this existing.
That robot sucks ass.
That robot was unhinged, the Wily parody where it's just like Gigantor, but
yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Carl's Mad Robot or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, I just remember playing that for the first time, and I'm like, what do you mean the third phase is like 80% of the progress bar?
Yeah, that was insane. But yeah, no, I love Cuphead. I really do. I've been waiting for a while for us to get back to the Let's Play, so I'm glad we just beat it on stream anyway.
Right. That's good. I'm glad you're able to see through all the crimes that are committed toward the end.
It's really good. We didn't find all the coins, I don't think, so that's why only I could buy the spread shot, and I didn't want to use the spread shot, but then I did anyways. Much to the final behest of chat. Anyway, hey Bob.
Hey,
You played other things though.
I did.
Do you have pictures?
I don't have pictures.
Okay, I guess I'll be your wingman for this. Let's fucking go.
This is the Steam demo roundup, everybody. There was this big Steam demo release this last week. I'm sorry you all missed it.
Was it Steam Fest again?
Steam Fest, yes.
Oh man, Steam Fest.
It chilled me to the bone. I'm like, this is your chance. The best week possible for this.
Yeah, they just cram it in. What are they doing? Why do they keep doing this? Why is it 1 week of 2,000 demos or something?
And you put it on Elden Ring.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Hey, it's important. Tomorrow, a demo for Babylon's Fall drops.
That's true.
Everyone's so smart. It's so funny too.
So the first one I played, Phantom Breaker Omnia had a demo.
Yo, let's go.
Okay, I don't even need to post a picture of that. Everyone who knows.
That game looks worse than I ever imagined from the trailers. Those things are cut very well to hide that each character has maybe 10 frames of animation. It's dire.
Bob,
Yeah.
Bob, I don't know how you didn't notice that. That trailer looks pretty rough. And of
That
course that
makes
game looks like
sense,
that. It's Phantom
honestly.
Breaker.
Yes.
I feel like the beat 'em up game looks better.
Yeah, but it
of
goes
course.
for a chibi art style.
Yeah,
I
because
guess
it
that
gets to
lets
do
them.
smaller sprites at a lower res. Yeah.
Yeah. The button config was broken on this PC version. It just didn't, square and circle just were switched, and I couldn't fix it.
I've never heard of a PC game doing that. Do you think it works on Steam Deck?
Sure.
Okay. Is everybody here familiar with the game Dong Dong Never Die?
Yes.
Yes.
It looks like that, but with anime character drawing.
Then it's a
I think Dawn
masterpiece.
Nevermind looks better, though.
Not many games look better than Donkey Never Die.
Like imagine like the SNES Mortal Kombats, but they're like anime characters.
Yeah, it's at few frames. It's really dire looking.
Yeah, they replace the blood with sweat.
You can't look at move lists in game at all. But then I find out every character had the same move set. Just so it's. I guess it's supposed to be super easy to pick up. I guess.
Finally, a truly approachable fighting game.
And there's 3 different styles you could choose for each character. You can make them faster, stronger, or Omnia style, which is just a mix. It seems really weird, and they have different super moves for each of them. And the whole thing's fully voiced, which is still crazy to me for this game that seems like it's made on $12.
Bob, there's no way they can afford to dub King of Fighters.
Impossible. That major corporation cannot afford it, but this Phantom Breaker Omnia can.
Don't remind me of the SNK thing. I'm like, you can do this.
It's impossible. Next game, Turbo Overkill.
Okay.
This is really cool.
Here's how this has to go, okay?
Okay.
You need to give me, every time you talk about a new game, say whether it's 2D or 3D, say the vague genre, and then dive in.
Okay, it's 3D. It's a boomer shooter.
Oh, okay. All right.
It has a style that looks kind of like Jedi Knight 2 era, but with enhancements. So I guess that's like Quake 2 sort of times. It's really neat looking. You have a chainsaw leg. The whole thing feels like you move so fast that it feels like your mouse sensitivity is set high, but for walking.
And that's on your mouse. That's not even on my stupid mouse.
But that's good. You can at any point chainsaw slide. So you have like it kind of reminds me of the shotgun knees thing I said in an Armchair Devs pitch.
Oh, shit.
A chainsaw just pops out of your leg and you slide on the ground and it just murders people.
It makes me think of Planet Terror from Grindhouse, where the girl has the machine gun leg.
Yeah, she has like a bazooka bayonet leg thing.
It's like a minigun, I think.
It's pretty good. Bob,
yeah.
On this movement speed thing, does it have an insane ramp up where it just keeps going higher and higher, or is this?
You go faster and faster if you go down a hill with your chainsaw leg or something.
Ooh.
But otherwise, you just walk really fast. But you do get momentum from using this.
Okay.
And the more momentum you have, the more damage it does.
I notice aesthetically speaking, it's a lot of blues and purples.
Yeah, it's very cyberpunk core.
Yeah, okay.
Really cool. It has I guess it's an immersive sim because it has vending machines like BioShock has.
But can you flush a toilet?
I don't think I found a toilet to flush.
Can you turn on a sink?
Maybe.
Did anything require the numbers 0451?
No. Each level ends like a Doom level where you hit the button and it makes a big noise.
Yes!
It says
that's also how every build engine game's levels end.
Good.
Yeah.
That's as God intended. That's how Horizon should have ended.
So this game is great. Absolutely. If there's any way to play a demo of this, do that. Otherwise, I'd probably just buy this. This is great. You get a bunch of different cool weapons. They all have 2 firing modes. Like your starting pistols, you have 2 revolvers and you just fire them really fast. Or the other mode is you spin one on your finger and the other like locks on target for all of the enemies. Like, lock up to like 4 enemies at once and charge it and it just makes them explode.
Yeah, it's crazy because I noticed the animation for them holding the twin guns is, how the stereotypical thing of like, you gonna be a gangsta, so you turn the gun sideways?
Yes.
They're turning both of them inward sideways and running like that.
Yeah, that's actually for the dual Uzis.
I just saw, so I went to the Steam page. I want to see how much this was, who's making it, when it comes out. The intern at Apogee, I guess, is playing it right now, streaming it on Twitch.
Okay.
Streaming it on Steam. And apparently, yeah, just running around with multiple different guns like that. That's funny as hell. Yeah, this looks cool.
Yeah, it's really great from what I played. I'm very excited to actually play the full version.
Seems to have mid-air dashes, kind of like a Doom Eternal.
Yeah. You also get dashes and wall running, but only on certain walls.
Okay.
But yeah, that's very neat.
It's like Gex.
Yes.
Yeah, Gex sometimes has little paw prints on the walls.
Speaking of Gex, the next game I played.
Oh, no.
Kao the Kangaroo had a demo.
Oh, okay, yeah. Honestly, I wish I had known. I would have tried it.
the ultimate segue to defeat all.
this game is really weird because it looks nice, but then it feels kind of junky. The platform just feels stiff. Like you don't have momentum or anything. You have a basic 3-hit combo for combat that happens a little too often. In really weird hitboxes during some of that combat where it's like, that hit me, and also I hit them, just seems random at points. For people to know, this is a 3D platformer.
Oh, okay. Using Unreal Engine 4, undoubtedly, based on how it looks. But.
Almost certainly. I don't remember seeing it, but yeah. Some cutscenes all seem kind of incomplete. Like the voice actors are just talking over things that don't feel quite right. I have to wonder if these are like only in here for the demo, like they shoot something together, or this is how the game's actually going to be.
I assume it's how the game's actually going to be.
Probably that. It's rough. I know part of that's coming from my PC isn't great. It's I lowered the settings enough so I can run mostly like 50s to 60s range.
Real quick, we should say what your PC is. You have an a GTX 1060. Do you remember what the Intel CPU is? Somewhere around an 8700K, right?
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Oh, jeez. Here's Bob's wife's measurements. I just happened to memorize.
Yeah. Can I get a BMI on this computer?
Thick.
Yeah, the Build to Get PC is one of those things where I do the research and buy everything, and then I forget it. I wipe it all because it was all nightmare.
You're like, I never want to do this again. I will do this again in 10 years.
Yeah.
Next game I played.
Okay.
I can't believe Steam put this on the page.
I thought that was the name for 1 second.
I can't believe it. It's called Cursed Pantsu.
Oh, yeah, Cursed Pantsu.
Just to warn to anyone, this game has nudity. I didn't even know until it happened.
You got flashed.
Dude, I Googled Cursed Pantsu on fucking Google, right?
Yeah.
And it pops up, some results may be explicit. Top return, the Steam page.
Yeah.
Let's go, Bob. This is the content we've been waiting for.
This is the most, like, if you ever watched our show, What Indie Hell, this is that.
Oh, yeah. No, we should revive it for this.
This is like we stole hentai pictures and put them in a puzzle piece.
So we need to race to explain. This seems to be an action game that's 3D.
Yeah, it's a 3D action game.
Didn't expect that, no.
You play as a girl who stole some panties from a mall, feels guilty about it, and then has a dream where she's sucked into an evil mall.
Oh.
And you fight mannequins and vending machines that throw soda cans at you.
That's the plot of Silent Hill 3, coincidentally.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the entire first chunk of that game, is that entire situation.
It looks like
panties.
The characters are all like Unity Asset Store characters.
Oh, they are definitely that tier. They would look kind of rough for Miku MMD video.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they don't even look that good.
Their run cycles are too fast for how slow they move.
If you fall in a hole, this is how I found out nudity was even in the game. Your clothes just all explode off, and you're just face down naked. I'm like, okay. I guess I will continue to play this just to see how
it keeps
horrible
going.
it is. Yeah. But you get, as you play, you get new panties to give you new punch and kick combos because you have a punch and a kick button. It feels really terrible. They're one of the primary.
No, really?
One of the primary adversaries in this game is puddles on the ground that make you slip and just ragdoll, which is hilarious.
Okay, I'm writing note. Do not embed this KZ. And there we go. I posted an image of what dying looks like in this video game. That was not the way I expected the falling down to go.
Don't worry. I don't want to do more work, but also thank you.
But yeah, a lot of the like, if you die to enemies, you probably just are completely asleep. Most of the dying I did was just jumping in a hole because this platforming feels terrible.
Okay, you guys ready for the absolute bunker bomb? The bunker buster of this conversation? Is this game relevant to you? Well, Danji, it's similar to games you've played. For example, Portal 2. Thank you, Steam.
What?
Thank you, Steam, for figuring out that Cursed Pantsu is similar to Portal 2.
I need to see what it says for my library. That's insane.
Holy shit.
I also, while using Steam for this, noticed they added a new tab to my library where it's like, you have these games that you've never played that are similar to other games you like and you own them. Please play them.
Okay, that's hilarious. That's very smart, actually.
Thank you for playing this one, though.
All right, moving on. Next game, Neon White. This is a 3D first-person shooter mixed with a visual novel. The art, somewhat, not really, but the style kind of reminds me of like a Danganronpa. Not directly, but it's got a strong aesthetic of black and whites here that's really neat. You play is a sinner sent to heaven to kill demons. And they you don't have any memories, and each stage you go through is just fighting demons and trying to get through it really quickly. It's very simplified though, it's not super fast, but you have a card system for your weapons. So you start with just a sword, which is almost useless, and they give you a card that's a pistol. And you can shoot it 6 times, and then the card explodes. But you also, each card has an alternate ability, so you hit the right mouse button, and instead of shooting the gun, you can do a double jump, and it uses up the whole card. So you can shoot 5 shots, then use it as a double jump to throw the card away. And
okay, that's nuanced.
Each stage is a very short platforming puzzle around killing all the enemies and getting to the end of it. Steve Bloom is the main character, and that's great.
What was the name of this game again?
Neon White.
I think we saw this last year.
We did see
we
that.
have seen that. We have seen this at multiple things. It was in the PC gaming show last year, I think, and in the Switch show.
Yeah, it was in the Switch show, and I was like, I hope this is on something that's not the Switch.
Yeah, I was wondering if this was the same one I was thinking of.
But yeah, it's really neat. It gives you reason to go back and play each stage too, because if you the first time you run through it, you earn so many points. And that unlocks new features for that stage. You can now race against your ghost. And now there's an extra bonus item that's hidden in this stage, which is totally when you get that hidden item, the stage at the end knows you aren't going for a speed run at that point. And you can also just replay it to get a higher rank and get more points. It's really neat. I enjoyed it a lot. And the visual novel elements seem interesting too, because it seems like you go through a set of 10 stages in a row. And then you go back to your visual novel hub, where you just have different places in heaven to go to talk to people, and you get there's your job location where you go pick up your new set of jobs. There's a bar to just go hang out with other dead people. The angels all look like weird anime cats.
Yeah,
which is neat because they do that thing of we appear however you want us to appear. To make it easier for you to accept. I was really funny that multiple of the people are yeah, they're cats. And then one guy's John Cena just talked to me. Isn't that cool?
But how can this be? You can't see him.
Mysteries.
But yeah, it seems really neat. I'm probably going to pick this up when it comes out.
They should put it on. They should put it on PS5 and have it through the leaderboard shit that Astro Collective did.
That would be really cool. This is so built around mouse and keyboard. It might work okay on controller, but I'm not sure because it doesn't.
I assume it would work about as well as Mirror's Edge did back in the day, but
yeah, but even that's it doesn't require nuanced aiming. Whereas this is, you should probably try and hit these enemies because you only have 6 bullets.
You just might want to try to do that. This is cool.
Yeah. Next game I played.
Yeah.
Super Catboy.
All right,
This
on.
This is a 2D platformer, 16-bit style graphics. You play as a cat boy who's actually just very much a furry cat. When I hear cat boy, I think
oh god, I see it now.
Yeah, yeah,
no.
that's not right at all.
Oh no.
Yeah,
oh no.
Yeah. I
You know what? The audience deserves it. I'm gonna ask you to only cut in this one.
Okay, this is the only one you're getting till Podlords.
Yeah, no.
When I hear cat boy, I expect person with cat ears, not this.
I hate this. I'm gonna get this later in
It's just
purple.
evil Scrimblow.
Yeah, it very much is. You have
This is very much like the original definition of Scrimblow of this could be an Amiga character.
100%.
So you fight a dog army where the dogs have like military uniforms and guns, like real guns. Your Catboy has himself just a 1911. Like he's just got a regular pistol he shoots guys with.
Oh yeah, I see that.
It's weird. It doesn't feel great. It's just a generic 2D platformer with combat rooms.
Great.
Fucking.
You derailed that easily.
Is there depth? Because some of these environments look like you can walk into the background.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. It's just 2D.
It kind of reminds me of like Earthworm Jim, where it's like we have really detailed animations and our game feel is bad.
A little bit. The Earthworm Jim's got cool backgrounds and stuff. This really is just like, you are in forest. I'm like, okay. You also have a human girlfriend.
Good. Speaking of Gex.
This is bad. Okay, moving on.
Thank you.
Tinykin. It's all one word. Tiny Kin.
Yeah.
It's a 3D platformer, but with 2D characters, kind of like Demon Turf.
Oh, that's cool.
The character you play is always looked at the screen, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, the second picture I see is literally them doing that. And I was like, did they pose for this? Or
Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw all the pictures. I was like, well, surely he'll look away when he's doing things. No.
Oh, that's
It's reminding me of that fucking dodgeball game.
But yeah,
is this like fucking Pikmin?
Yes, I was just gonna say that. It has Pikmin elements where you're finding little scrimblos that are different colors to let you do different things.
Into the shredder.
It's not for me. It seems like well made. It's not for me at all.
I'm looking at this. This might be for me. I need to try it out.
Yeah, maybe.
Fun fact, I enjoyed Pikmin. I didn't enjoy where Pikmin was one of my 2 GameCube games.
And it's 45 minutes long.
I think, here's the thing. I'm a little hazy on this, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I think I rented Pikmin, but the level of upset I was over how short Pikmin is makes me believe I bought Pikmin and that it was one of my like few games I owned. But now I'm like not sure. I traded in games so quickly.
Right.
I'm so like the memory's hazy enough where I'm like, did I rent that or did I seriously just get that for Christmas and trade it in within a week? But yeah, the other one was Smash. Because of course.
Yeah.
But I did rent Luigi's Mansion, which had a similar era of, this felt kind of short. But this seems really neat. It's got a nice aesthetic, this game.
Yeah.
Tinykin. His move fast mechanic seems to be a bar of soap.
Yeah, he rides a bar of soap because the whole thing's set in like
a living room, but it's very big.
Yeah, a large house.
Yeah. And he's tiny. Imagine that.
Some sort of kins that he uses.
I don't like how he looks like an acorn. That bugs me.
That's a very stylish hairstyle, Phil. I'll let you know.
What an iconic silhouette.
Yeah. You always know it's him because of his smug smirk.
Yeah, I don't like that he always looks at me. That really bugs me for some reason.
Yeah, I don't like making eye contact with my characters too often.
It's like if they made a Wanted game and he always makes the face.
This is my face when you're platforming.
I thought I would get old of it, but this is the best game I've ever beaten in 12 hours of staring at this face. 10 out of 10.
Next game. Soldiers. This is the word soldier, but with soul, like human soul.
I've got
instead of the S-O-L, it's S-O-U-L.
Uh-huh. And it's D-I-E-R-S?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
This is a 2D Metroidvania style game.
Uh-huh.
You play as a squad of knights who gets caught in a landslide, and then a Valkyrie shows up, is like, hey, you guys are all going to starve in here. Why don't you just come with me to my world and help? So you do that.
No, because I have principles. Okay. Well, good luck with that.
Is this that Tanya anime? What Dan just said is pretty much exactly that.
What?
2D platformer action game here.
Yeah.
I don't know. How would you describe this action?
It's got like a combo tree and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's really basic, but it seems to work. And you have a blocking mechanic, clearly inspired by Dark Souls in various ways. You even have a parry that if you time just right, you can do a counterattack, which looks really cool. The first thing they do is send you in a spider cave.
Oh.
And shredded.
But you do have a dodge roll in the like all the mechanics seem to work really well and it feels responsive. The only problem is that in this demo, there are stutters at different points as you traverse the map.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And I'm like, I hope that you guys can solve this because right now, that's the one thing taking us from buying it to just not, because it feels really bad when it does that.
Looks like it right now they don't have plans for anything but this and Switch. So PC and Switch. So
yeah, I don't know if it's like loading in new areas in the background.
Yeah, I gotta ask, do you have your games installed on your SSD or your hard drive?
Just the hard drive for this because had downloading so many of these demos.
Yeah, I get it.
I should probably show this on the SSD and see if it solves it. See if it's just something wrong with my hard drive causing this, because it does make it very unplayable at points. But yeah, from what I played, it was pretty cool. You have like you learn special abilities like throwing fire around. You get new items like bombs where you can place in that blows up stuff in the world. So you can it's a progression item as well as an attack. And it seems like there's at least 3 playable classes. The demo we play is the scout, who is just a generic knight, but there's also a mage and an archer. Yeah,
I'm seeing that, and the archery looks really cool. I didn't get to see enough footage of the mage personally, but I got to see the archer, and yeah, this seems neat.
Yeah, no, I would if as long as this gets ironed out, I would totally be down to playing.
But here's the thing, I'm really interested, but we need one of these classes to stare at the perspective smirking all the time.
I know, this guy does a helmet down. You can't even see a smirk.
Yeah, that's bullshit. How do I know he's smirking?
All right, and the last game I played, so I can finally escape this segment.
That's a great segment. I'm loving it this week.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as people like it. The next game I played is Yurone, the Dragon Girl.
Spell that. Yurone.
Shirone.
What? Yurone?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Shirone macaroni?
Yes.
Oh my God! Are you sure this is a game and not a VTuber invading my screen? Oh no!
She is pretty VTuber core.
Yes. She even has this stupidly huge like dragon tail, which looks.
Oh my God! Mark it. Just mark it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put this one in.
They deserve to see this one too.
This is a 3D puzzle platforming game.
Okay.
You play as this dragon girl stuck in a castle. There are a bunch of ghosts in the castle who are really just kind of sad that they lost their memory and they don't know what's going on. So all of them you talk to are like, I don't know.
Why is she so fucking big?
The fucking trailer starts. She's doing cool zooms around the castle, and then she just slowly turns and looks at the camera and goes, like a rig that broke?
Yes.
She's like 9 feet tall.
Yes.
Yeah, Bob, I have to know. Can I give her super chats?
Not that I found.
But those would be a good way to show you support.
You're right.
You support the fact she's 9 feet fucking tall.
So you go around this Unity asset store castle.
She does.
That's sure what it is.
She does a Gex tail swing.
Yes.
No, it's tail time. It's literally tail time. Oh no.
And you solve puzzles by moving around crystals and jumping on things. I stopped playing it because the button prompts for opening doors sometimes break.
This is sure a Unity asset flip.
Yeah, it's dire, but very funny.
Hey guys, would you like to know what Steam thinks this is similar to?
Yes.
Okay, here's what it thinks this is similar to. It thinks this is similar to seemingly the beta for Bloodstained, because that's the playtime it has next to the icon, and Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, it's a
sure.
female protagonist with platforming.
That's a little bit closer than Portal 2.
Oh no, they actually
are. For me, it gave me a Hat in Time because I own that on PC.
Okay.
I guess.
They have a YouTube channel and they do stream with the model.
Are you serious?
Yes! You know what? I now am convinced that we're going to get like the trend of VTubers having asset flip games made of themselves.
I mean, that's brilliant.
It is. Oh man, that adds so much to this game.
Okay, so maybe,
Someone call Vox.
maybe, they just got a VTuber to stream the game, and their rig won't show up during that. I don't know. This is a stream that's happening tomorrow. I can't. God, this is hilarious.
I have anxiety.
This is an awesome week. I genuinely want to play every game you talked about.
Yeah, I think that we had some real winners this time.
Why did they put it out next to these two games? Come on!
Don't know what is wrong with the people designing Steam Fest. Just have it last 2 weeks or a whole month.
This is literally the most exhausted and overworked I've been in months. And this is when you put it out between two gigantic games. One of which people care about.
Yeah.
Yeah, they think they can just do this just because Forbidden West is not on PC and Elden Ring seemingly doesn't exist on PC.
Oh, it definitely does. I know a lot of people lost $60.
I just know that magically all the user reviews for that game disappeared an hour ago.
Cool.
But that's it for my Steam game demo roundup.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's all I played. Hey, Casey.
Hi.
You play video games?
Yeah, we have a nightmare week where Horizon came out and then Elden Ring was looming, so I decided to do the most honorable bunt in which I'm like, all right, Horizon, you can come back in like a month and then I'll actually do that. So instead, I played Voice of Cards The Forsaken Maiden, which came out. This is a follow-up to the Voice of Cards game that came out less than 4 months ago. I don't know why that happened, but it did.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like the last one, you're looking at a 15-hour turn-based RPG with its own like standalone style story. There's a few things they were able to advance on, which I was expecting nothing to be advanced at all when you turn around another game within 4 months. They have focused a little bit more on the crystal system in this, where every single time you jump to a new party member, they drop a crystal into a box. It's basically like mana in other card games. Certain skills have certain costs. Also, you eventually get skills with certain party members where they can give up their turn to generate up to 2 of those crystals at once. So it just becomes this thing of, you have certain skills that cost 6 or 7 points. So you'll be focusing a bit more there. Based on the formatting of the game, where you play as this character who meets a girl that's meant to be a maiden that's supposed to save their island from impending magical doom or whatnot. You end up venturing to other islands to meet other maidens and their attendants. So you end up getting a guest party member in each chapter of a team of 2, and that's how they introduce dual techs in this game, where a maiden and their partner can do special attacks, and they're different depending on which one's initiating it, so they have different effects and moves. Animation-wise, I think it's pretty nice, because occasionally when they unite to do the last part of their hit, both cards for each character fuse into one card together, so they're like both presented art-wise on the same thing. So some of that stuff's neat. In general, I feel like it's a little bit harder as they really hammer in some of the combat stuff. So that was really enjoyable. Dungeons have more gimmicks now. I hit one where the game said, this is a game where you're playing as a game piece moving around a area made out of card tiles. And like the enemies are like enemy cards. And they're like, this is going to be a stealth section. Where they're like, don't get caught by the guards. They can see like this one area in front of them. And every time you move, they will move. And then it became this thing of, okay, I can see the pattern and I'm trying to get my way across. I was like, that's interesting. For a while, I did not know that you can jump in place and that counts as a movement, which once I got through that, I had the realization of, oh, this puzzle is not impossible then. Because I was like, I don't know how to get past this perfect patrol of a narrow hallway.
Yeah, that sort of reminds me of Lufia 2. If you've played Lufia 2, they have dungeon design where every time you move, an enemy moves, but there's quirky stuff you can do to manipulate their movement. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
When you said that, I kind of lit up like a Christmas tree. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that's one of the dungeons you're doing in there where you're just sneaking around a little bit. And it turns out the key is just getting in this nook and jumping in place. Because for a while, I'm like, clearly I have to still move, but no. there are some other gimmicks of like, based on a word puzzle, you're supposed to interact with certain tablets in a certain way. And one that I thought was neat of, we can't let these monsters escape. So you're allowed to move 5 spaces on this map. And after you've done that, they're going to move and try and escape. And you need to make sure to get all of them before any of them have a chance to leave the map. And then you initiate combat through there. So they're able to come up with some nice twists to make things a bit more interesting. Everything from the first one was solid, so this is kind of in the same space. A lot of the combat stuff makes me like this one more, but there's some things that hold it a little bit back. So I kind of score it the same as the first one, where it's like in that 8 range. Mm-hmm. The main character in this, your main protag, is a bit more self-inserty, where I can't really say he's much of a character at all. The other one was an unapologetic, just like dirtbag. Where a lot of your dialogue choices made you come off like an asshole, and I really liked that flavor. And then he had like some skin in the game's plot. This one is more in service of the maiden that you're hanging out with, so I feel like there's a lot less character that you can work with here. So I felt like that was a bit weaker, but in exchange, a lot of the chapters, the character writing, I feel, is a bit stronger and a bit more emotionally affecting, even if it's a relatively short chunks, because they're doing like 5 or 6 chapters across a 15-hour game. They switched the game master because there's only one person that voices in these voice of card games. It's your dungeon master that narrates what the characters say, sets the mood, makes occasional comments when you're doing combat of like, fortune favors the bold when you go in and at low health and you get like that critical hit or whatever. This GM in general, it does okay, but doesn't hold a candle to the last one. So it just kind of feels like a downgrade in terms of presentation. I feel like I got a bit more texture out of Todd Habercorn, who did the previous one. I was also coming off Lost Judgment, where he's a key character in that. So I was like, oh man, you're back, and you're doing a completely different like vibe where you know the D&D environment really well. Dan, we encountered a glitch that I can't tell if it's a glitch or not.
Okay, shoot.
Okay. The environment here is supposed to be the DM is describing the things that are happening and is trying to make it like a realistic of, you sat down and played this with us. Mm-hmm. Sometimes a line will come up and he reads that you see a woman, and then it trails off, and then you see a young woman. And there are 4 or 5 times in the game where it sounds like he fucked up the read and started again, and they forgot to edit it out. And I cannot tell whether it's intentional or not.
Very Sonic 06.
Where it just stops, starts over again, and I can make the argument that this is the only game where it would make sense, but I'm unsure. It's really funny. I could not handle it. Where I'm like, he's not like expressing any like disdain of messing it up or anything. So I can't be overall sure, but it was really crazy.
It's weird. He just told Shadow to head to the wave ocean immediately.
Yeah, that was goddamn. Hey.
That's just that. Have you seen that line? There's a line in Shadow's campaign in Sonic 06 where the guy stops halfway through the read and goes, and then redoes the whole thing, and they left it in the game.
Yeah, fucking immaculate super game over at Sega.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yep. That's what they're working on right now, something to rival Sonic 06.
Uh-huh. Yep, that's always the goal. But yeah, I got through the thing in about 15 hours. Did all the side content and stuff.
Real quick, did you clip that thing you were talking about? Did anyone clip it?
I did not. I need to maybe pull that
if somebody does that would be great.
I need to pull that up at some point. But it really perplexed me whenever it would happen.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. But yeah, it's definitely a full, complete game, about 15 hours. Once you finish it, you get like a new game plus, and they open up a region that'll let you do a mini dungeon and a super boss, because both games had that, where they're like, here's a souped up new gimmick thing. And I think some of the presentation for end bosses in these games are great, where normally it's a card and it's just that. But for these end ones, they're like, we created like 25 cards that makes a massive piece of art.
Ooh.
But the head has another card on top of it that's like overlaid on it. And it's like that's the thing you're actually hitting, but they're able to present these massive pieces of art to really set the mood. Also, it's the same like composer that usually does a lot of the Yoko Taro stuff, so it sounds immaculate.
Nice.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I need the next one to take a little bit longer so that they can fix a couple of issues. Both games have a high speed mode because the game generally is just dealing out cards, so the animations can take a little longer. But the speed up mode breaks sound effects, so some sound effects just don't play.
Oh.
So it's like you're going in for multiple attacks and it just doesn't play for some of them. And they know it's kind of a shortcoming where they warn you saying, the GM will try to get through things as fast as possible. Where they're trying to say it's like he's physically trying to set the stage for you and you're overworking him. Because at the end of each of these games, he's like, how did we do? Did you like that? And when I picked the dialogue option of, I didn't quote unquote get it. And he said, oh, all right, I'll pass that over to the writers. I'll see you guys next time.
It's really good.
But yeah, that's all I did this week. Definitely recommend both of these. Try out the demo of the first one. It's a prequel to that one, and it gives you a good tester of whether or not it would be your jam.
I figured it out, KZ. I figured out why it was released now.
Why?
They realize it's February. They need to release a game from Square Enix every 12 hours.
I was about to say they didn't want to do 5 releases in March.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Like somehow we had the most profitable quarter in human history.
I am so happy. I think it was fucking Saito over at Square that told upper management, no, don't make Voice of Cards a mobile game. We'll make it for consoles. Because I would have never played these games.
Yeah, it would have existed in the
Fantasian
space.
Yeah.
Like, you can also put it on mobile if that's
right.
A thing you can do. Just also put it on consoles. There's so many, and thankfully companies are learning that, like, there's a huge group of people that will just never play a game on their phone ever.
Yeah.
This game doesn't even sound appropriate for mobile. Like, you don't have a ton of time to be listening to a DM talk on your phone. Like that.
Yeah.
That takes a different kind of dedication than
I'm getting
a lot
immersed
of phone games.
10 minutes at a time on the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do imagine that the phone version of this would have truncated a lot of the story stuff and everything. It's just there's no game like these where the dude's just chill at the start of each game where he's like, I'm meant to be heard, so make sure you have your volume on. But if you really hate me, whatever, we have subtitles. But yeah, that's all I played. Definitely recommend it.
I was going to ask you, there's some part of your story that's not adding up.
Huh.
You said this game was about 15 hours?
Yes.
But you also said it's a full game. Now, Bob, I know at GameStop you had customers who said Horizon wasn't big enough.
And Days Gone.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. This is like a $25 or $30 release, and it's only 15 hours. But you'll have to do more to get trophies and do that. I haven't done either of the optional dungeons.
That's unfortunate that they made such a baby game that's only 15 hours.
They're just preying on people to pick up that DLC where they made it so there's DLC where they redraw the characters, but as if they were in Nier Automata.
Oh,
and then and they make like the game board like this stark white, and your crystals that are mana that drop into a little chest are black boxes.
Huh.
From that, because if I remember right, the first one just did original Nier, so they got to do this one as a DLC set because they're like, we can change some assets around.
That's neat.
Yeah.
We now go to Feel. You play video games?
I played Horizon and we talked about it already, and I somehow got pulled into the Death Pact.
Yeah!
Well then, I guess it's time to talk about the Pod Lords.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, no.
Oh, jeez.
Those dastardly Pod Lords at it again.
Me going through the Pod Lords. It's not worth it. You know, some people are, they can't be saved. Let's leave.
I don't know about this one, Pim.
Yes, that's right. The Pod Lords. Pod Lords such as E. Lee Broyles, Corey Brown, I am fine now. My beautiful Asian wife helped me get cool. Now I'm cold libertarian Pepsi man.
God,
Oh, hey, it's Quo
No.
from Infamous 2.
Yo,
what an iconic character.
I'll drink it if I have to.
Yeah, I was squinting like, is that fucking Mirror's Edgeman?
She does look a lot like the Mirror's Edge protag. God, I can't remember her
Faith.
name. Faith?
I think so.
Yeah,
Is it Faith or Fate?
Faith.
Okay. It's been a really long time. Red Blaze 27. Juicer Frost. Suzu Shiro. Emperor Zero. Shibuya Gato. The Bit Machine broke. Enjoy another Yu-Gi-Oh! Scrimblow. Good lord. That's like maximum adorable.
Yo, look at that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Need you
it's,
to dial that back a little bit.
yeah, it's part of the cute snack archetype.
You are not on the cover of a Trapper Keeper. Rado. 101 Shades of Wonderful Remastered. You know what reminded me to bring up the Lancine Air? The new McBusey. Only available at Gary's.
Oh god, the teeth, no.
Morale must improve, Phil.
This is a fucking Banjo 3E character. This is what's gonna happen when Microsoft makes them ship a new Banjo game on Intech 8.
I need people out there who work in physical props for horror movies to make this. WTF Spider-Man. Yo, the newest David Jaffe racism arc is wild, and I thought the Beanstalk arc was wild, but this takes the
I
cake.
forgot.
Green
Is he
Giant.
smoking a pipe?
Yeah, that's.
I thought he was eating a very dark Twizzler.
I can't remember if that's his profile image on Twitter or his channel or something, but that's the one. Yeah. When you too can enjoy the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV as a solo player experience starting in April.
I hate that people face apped him so fast.
So fast.
It looks
It's really
hideous.
fucking funny. It's don't worry, we'll talk about it. It's really funny actually.
DFW 3K. Would you shoot a minority for a Klondike bar? Yes, no, I'm very smart.
Thanks for the content, Jaffe.
Yeah, I know, right? Holy shit. Sometimes somebody flashbangs
next
the
time you
podboard.
can keep it though.
Shiny Mew. Kristen. I saw this and I just read the text and I couldn't really make out the profile image, and it wasn't until I punched in that I could understand. Tonberry 6.
Let's
So
go.
powerful.
It's huge.
Oh my god. Is this the new Ninja Turtles game?
Could you imagine? Ready to be let down by the near anime. I guess they were there when we were like, oh, it's the Persona people. Oh, it's the Persona people. Yeah, I forgot to change my name. New jobs be like, anyways, it was Vampire Survivor, not Vampire Savior. Have a good day. Kyle Bjork. Maddie Moe, Clown Pants Apologist.
Crazy person.
Nintendo Direct did not reveal NFTs. We are safe for now.
I don't think you have to worry about that. I think
Yeah.
Nintendo, even at their most clueless, is like, there's advantages to them not knowing what computers are.
Yeah, right. This is one of them. Iron Aggro. Blig da Blue. Schlig des Boo. 7 Gen Protag Carl says, you want information on the marker? I got a marker for you right here.
It
Like-
almost
like
makes
the-
that worth it.
Like the Dead Space monster bursts out of her, and he's like, I just want to let you know, this don't change nothing.
This don't change nothing. And let me get that marker. And he reaches in his pants.
If Isaac Clarke talked and it was just him, that would have really improved things.
Monster Hunter, Ryzen and Raiden. I've fallen down the MTG hole. Look at this cool alt art done by the Metal Gear artist. Yeah, that certainly is Yoji Shinkawa.
Yeah, jeez. Legendary creature human.
Ninja.
BN12. Jordan. Nothing will forestall his return. Cooper Tank. Oh, God. It's the fucking Dan guy again.
we keep making his orders wrong, so he'll stop coming, but he never learned.
This is the cruelest podlord you've ever had.
This was the one that really cracked me up earlier when I was cropping them. I laughed my ass off.
We have to talk about Taco Bell when we get to news, by the way.
I know.
Oh, no.
I know. Pass the Remote changed work schedules and has no bid this week.
Thank you, regard.
Yeah, absolutely. Relax. Take it easy. AG's Bird Facts. Kiwis, due to fossil record, is one of the oldest modern birds alive. They are also good swimmers. Really? What?
Nice.
Huh.
That's wicked. I want to see that.
It's a water bird.
By the time this BTD is out, everyone will be getting pot.
Fucking so excited for pot, friend.
It's weird. We're going to have to start making a pot category for Game of the Year. Last year was Pothead. This one's pot.
As we film, I'm having a pot friend emote made.
Drive type cam in quest for a funny bit. The disease has assimilated my DNA. I am a VTuber. Mitzi. Indigo Sykes. Looking forward to Feels fanfic where he tops Dora Winifred's husband. Jesus.
I forgot what her full name was.
That's a fucking name, all right.
You're the protesters when they show DW the Bill of Rights. That won't stop me. I can't read.
You get punched once and decide you're going to become a cop.
Now I'll do the punching.
The creators' faces I pledge to when they gather up patron names while I run a Podlord bit. Oh, bother. I feel bad for every other Patreon.
Yeah, I know.
Even my own other Patreon. I'm just like, what the fuck is this? I don't even have images in the executive producer segment. A raccoon that wouldn't touch those McDonald's monstrosities. Man, raccoon looks pissed.
Yeah, give him that look.
I don't want to give him the Lancian air. My grandmother once said, the Soji Tendo bit is dead. And a new face with a new look enters the game ho. Podlord, thank you. Normally I shouldn't work with terrorists, but thank you.
It's okay. You can come off the roof now.
You're going to want to. That raccoon might get you.
It's like an alpha Pokemon.
Shinji16 wants to remind you that you matter. You are valid and you deserve to be happy. Unless you're Greg Abbott.
Oh, man.
That is fucking true. Shrigma mail. You know, Podlord, I'm the only one who has to look at it now. they don't get a screen cap.
I know what Shrigma mail looks like.
I like Shrigma, man. He looks stupid.
Fuck you.
Virvarm. White man jump scare. And Etch-a-Sketch. Thank you very much to our Podlords.
Thank you, Podlord.
Thank you, Podlord.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Podlord.
And if you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/GVPodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits such as early access to Chugging, Bleach, and Mondo Cool, our 2 anime review podcasts, extended armchair dev pitches and gamer premonitions when those shows force us to leave ideas on the cutting room floor, and a Patreon exclusive show 1 per month where you get to vote on what good or bad thing we have to watch and then talk about. That's patreon.com/GBpodcast. And if you don't have any money, you can always help by telling your friends. And if you don't have any friends, I guess we're out of luck. That's patreon.com/GBpodcast.
Jeez. Here's a Venn diagram of all our listeners and how many of them don't have friends. Dan, that is a circle. Uh-oh. I guess our growth period's fucking done.
So I've talked about Taco Bell here for 1 second.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
And I need to know if Dan and Bob have also noticed this. It has started because I've gone to Taco Bell twice in the past 3 weeks, which is significantly higher than average. Usually I don't go at all because it's in a weird part of town.
Yeah.
whenever they give me my order, they say, here are your number of items I ordered items.
Ooh, I haven't heard that once.
Oh, yeah, that sounds great.
I really appreciate
I wonder
corporate
if
being
this
like,
is-
acknowledge the number is the number.
Because I wonder if this has started, is this rolling out? Is it just some weird thing? Are Dan and Bob's Taco Bell's franchisees and mine is corporate owned? So
I don't know.
they do this, but I'm like, wow, because they did it both times. It's like, here's your 3 items. Here's your 4 items.
Man, yeah, I don't know. You're kind of convincing me to go to Taco Bell, which means you're being a bad friend right now. But, I should probably do it anyway.
Yeah.
I got to know.
That or we should just move in with feel.
I also had the Chipotle chicken strip taco, and I'm like, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the chicken strip taco is more filling than most Taco Bell, which is weird in its own way. But then it's also like not especially good. So that feels like home. Anyways, we got news.
Sure.
We should talk about news.
News.
Let's let's get the Activision executive thing out of the way. Apparently multiple executives and the top lawyer, the main lawyer for Activision, were promised golden parachute exits if they quit. What was it? The earliest they can leave is 6 to 8 months after the acquisition, if that goes through, and they each get millions when they leave.
Yeah, of course. Of course, that's how this works.
Yeah, of course that's how this works. That's immediately what I thought of when I heard of the acquisition. But there were some other things in there. Who wrote these notes?
I wrote these extras.
Okay, feel free to read them.
Okay. We immediately saw that one of the conditions for Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard was all the employees were blocked from unionizing.
That's a good guy, Microsoft.
Good guy, Phil Spencer.
And I could tell it was a truly evil thing because all the replies I saw was, "This is normal whenever they're merging," which told me that it was evil and bad.
Yeah, that's a little insane
Yeah.
to be like, this is normal. This is a new normal.
And then the other,
So on this specific point,
yeah,
does this make them unionizing more likely? Because they are this coming out tells the employees, if you unionize, Kotick is decapitated.
yeah,
This deal falls through, the stock will tank, at least some, because people will rush to sell before, because it went up when the sale was announced.
Yeah.
So it will collapse, and he will be as destroyed as someone with as much money as him can ever be destroyed.
Yeah, I don't know. When all the information came out, it's like the employees are unable to unionize, but Microsoft can approve it at a later date if they want to.
Yeah, that's fucking corporate bullshit for we don't want them to ever unionize.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah,
we
of course.
We don't want people to yell at us.
Yeah, that's what's going on with that. We got this information technically like last week. There were like interviews about the timeline for like the buyout and everything. Phil Spencer began talks to try and buy Activision Blizzard less than 24 hours after he made the statement, "We're re-examining our relationship," which has the energy of he rushed into Satya Nadel's office saying, now, which it was less than a day after he made that statement, which means 3 days after all that really fucked up shit came out.
Yep.
So it was really just like, we can do it. They're fucked. We can buy it right now.
Yeah, because it's a public win.
Yeah.
You get a studio, you get to make some moves that you have a narrative, right? That's a positive narrative. It's like, well, Kotick will no longer be in charge.
Like, I feel like people thinking, oh, yeah, the re-examining relationship is probably when they start doing the buyout. I'm like, that seems comically fast. And they were like, no, that is in fact what happened.
Yeah.
Within 24 hours, he was already talking to people.
Yeah, that makes sense. Moving on to a little bit more positive news because it doesn't have anything to do with Activision.
Yes.
PSVR 2's new design got shown off. It looks really fancy. It's got like a spherical white aesthetic. Bob and I have used the current PSVR. So the biggest difference here, Bob, is not only can you adjust the lenses individually to make them match up with the pupillary distance you have as a human being to make it more comfortable, there's a top vent so it doesn't get as fogged up.
Good.
I didn't know they got fogged up. That's great.
It is a lot like goggles you wear for like snorkeling.
Yes, it is a lot like that. This top vent apparently designed so that way it doesn't do that. That's wicked awesome. Also, we get to see, because, as we said before, the PlayStation VR 2 is designed for inside-out tracking instead of one where it needed all those LEDs on it and the camera tracks it.
Right.
It has a bunch of cameras on it that tracks the room.
Ooh.
So you get to see that on the design with just a bunch of cameras in the corners. And I'm like, that's cool. What if you stuck them all really close together and then I freaked out people with tryptophobia? Like a smartphone made by terrorists. But yeah, that looks really cool, really fancy. Reminder to people who have forgotten, PSVR 1 came out at the price of a PS4, so $400. There's definitely a world where this comes out and it's the price of a PS5. That is entirely possible.
Right.
Hopefully it's not
Which is
$500.
chump change compared to their contemporaries in the PC field.
Yes, which is worth noting every time, but the price on these do eventually go down.
Yeah.
Like this thing, the first one was on sale on Black Friday like multiple times for $200.
Okay.
But yeah, no, the tech they're building into this makes it like the industry-leaning headset. It's kind of nuts. I'm very excited. Very excited. Let's move over to Feel for news we should have known last week, but we didn't. But we're going to make up for it now.
I found this nightmare.
So Zack Snyder and Levine.
Yeah.
They did a podcast together in 2010, meaning he absolutely watched Sucker Punch, meaning he absolutely ripped off Sucker Punch for the DLC.
That sucks.
This,
Yep.
like, Phil will put in titles for our podcasts. That's one of his main duties. And I went, okay, I'm typing it in after I finish the final edit on the files. And then I went, what if I Google Ken Levine, Sucker Punch? And what happens? And the top result was that podcast on the old Irrational Games website.
Yep.
I click it, I scan it, I start having an anxiety attack. And then I go, what if I left the room on Thursday and you mentioned this? So I asked you. I was like, we didn't know this, right? And Feels in the chat going, no!
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, that's a nightmare. It's like we struck gold. It's like, oh, okay.
Yikes.
All right, that's good. That's like 3 times we mentioned Sucker Punch in a month. Let's never do it again.
Let's move on to the next bit of news.
So, gotta explain the pod lords.
Yep.
David Jaffe made the most insane Twitter poll I've ever seen. I'm just gonna fucking read it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Multiple days later and 3,500 quote tweets later, he has not deleted it.
35. Holy. Oh, let me read off the numbers. Retweets 172. Quote tweets 3,509. Likes 424.
Hypothetical.
God, here we go.
Hypothetical. If you were playing and loving an open world game and there was an easy automatic platinum trophy for going into a minority filled parentheses Jew, black, LGBT, Muslim, etc. close parentheses nightclub and killing all the minority NPCs, would you do it? Yes, no. This yes was winning for a long time, but no won by less than it should have. And like what the fuck, David Jaffe?
Yeah, this was insane. And then I saw him make a tweet. It was like all the people in the games media that were tearing me up over this. They should have talked to me first.
Don't publicly reply to my public
Also,
tweet.
he was like, people need to look up what a hypothetical was. And then somebody was like, I don't think you should be telling people to look up. The joke being that he could not progress in Metroid Dread because he did not find a progression path that was above him.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that tweet's insane. I have no idea what he was thinking.
I was dizzy.
Like I said, David Jaffe asked the hard questions, like, would you say the N-word into your DualSense for a platinum?
Why of course, yeah, of course I would, through the transitive property of finding a black friend. Be like, come on over, dude.
And if you don't have any friends,
do an anime.
if you don't have any friends, start playing a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah, there we go. I was like,
Really loud.
There's some rap. Maybe the DualSense can't figure out if it's a song.
Thank you, David Jaffe.
Yeah.
Real hard question here.
Digging in deep for a 15-year-old. What do you mean he's 50? Oh. Yeah, this was a bad tweet. This might be his worst. Mike.
And he makes a lot of bad tweets.
He sure says a lot of shit on Twitter that he shouldn't, but
To take Twitter away from everybody over 50.
Honestly, this is one of the cases where I'm like, I guess it's working for him. He's got 62K followers. I guess it's working. This is his intended outcome, I guess.
Yeah, the Twitter age range that you can post on is between the ages of 25 and 49.
See, it's fine. It's fine if you start posting at a young age. Then you're like grandfathered in because you understand how social media works and aren't like, let me say this insane hypothetical that my decaying mind thinks is interesting.
Hello, what else do you have?
Yes. So Nintendo acquired SRD, a company that has worked on almost every Nintendo title ever made back to the NES and has their offices inside a Nintendo facility, but Nintendo did not own them until today. What a fucking bizarre company.
Well, they definitely have Nintendo DNA.
I've decided to date my girlfriend of 11 years.
Oh, finally.
Date.
Yes. Not married,
It's like-
date.
Yeah, they're going to the roller rink after this.
God, that's insane.
Yeah, it definitely just gives more evidence to that thing of we're not going to acquire anybody unless they have like our DNA just funneled in.
They were doing it. They weren't acquiring them because of one guy they don't like.
This is a sick own for Microsoft and Sony. They can never get these guys now.
This is like
Chance
this is like
before. Sony was like, I can change them. I can
This
fix
is like-
them.
This is like King of the Hill, where you find out that Hank proposed by saying, "I am not unfond of you, Peggy."
Thank you, Hank. What an immaculate character.
That's strong. We're gonna go to Bob for news. Bob.
Sure. So we had a news article come out saying Dragon Age is fine, actually. Everything's fine. Nothing's on fire. Everything's fine.
Wow, cool. Good news.
That means things must be so on fire that
I'm glad
it's
there
like
was an
lied to them.
article because the only thing I heard about it was from Jeff Grubb.
The literal quote they released was, "The blueprint for the game is well understood."
They said specifically, we are in the middle of development, meaning considering it started development in 2015, it should come out in 2029.
So what you're telling me is that things in BioWare are so bad they have to say, we know what game we're making.
Yes. They also say the team is focused.
I would hope so.
They plan
They
to keep doing...
rebooted it so many times.
Yeah,
they
this is it,
rebooted
though.
it so many times. This means nothing.
I know.
It's okay. It'll be just like Resident Evil 4.
But they're going to keep us up to date and release social media and blog posts on this game throughout the year. They don't even want to commit to anything more than that.
I don't need fucking monthly check-ins on Dragon Age 4. Show me a trailer that has an area that looks even remotely done.
It's okay.
Show a
just showing
character.
us the,
Show a character walk down a hallway.
just show us the fucking Anthem Castle. We know that shit was from Dragon Age. That's fine.
No, that was from Dragon Age 4, like version 1 named Joplin.
Yes. God. I just want to take this moment to announce that the blueprint for the Mighty Number 9 review is well understood, and the team is very focused.
Yeah. What is the team? You?
And Bob.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And other people, but obviously we're so focused that we're not ready to announce who the other people are. They're very real, though, and everyone's focused, and it's understood. Okay.
Okay. I believe you.
Okay. Good. Oh, thank God. We're gonna move on to other news.
Okay.
Take it away, KZ.
All right. I'm gonna go bottom up.
Okay.
This is coming from Bloomberg. They got leaked by someone else who uses their fucking terminal website. And then that made Jason Schreier lose his mind. 2023's Call of Duty is being delayed. That means the next one that's coming out this year and is rumored to be the Modern Warfare 2 remake. We'll need some staying power because it's the only one you're going to play until 2024.
Yeah, I don't think that's
Well,
even
I think
rumored
Warzone
anymore.
now.
They said that.
Oh, did they?
They in a blog post were like, yeah, new Modern Warfare this year and
okay.
Warzone updates.
Okay. Since there was no like thing, I just assumed it was still like a rumor because I was going through other people's accounts.
This makes sense. They burned everything to the ground with every studio that worked on Call of Duty, and then last year just barely shipped. So of course there's a year soon where it won't.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm a little sad that it's not this year because Modern Warfare 2 is one I'm really excited for, and I'd love for that to just get as much time as it needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's probably fine.
Probably.
It's probably fine. We'll find out later this year.
Yeah. At least it's not Sledgehammer, and the one that's getting its break to continue work on it would be Treyarch.
Okay.
That's the one that got delayed, so Treyarch's still getting a little bit more time to do whatever that is. Black Ops.
Oh right,
6.
they just canceled Treyarch, or they just basically canceled the Sledgehammer games, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some positive news. Bethesda's horrible Bethesda Net launcher on PC is dying this year. They're going to let you migrate your games, DLC, and saves to Steam.
Cool. Now just kill Bethesda.net.
Yeah, entirely. I would love to play Doom Eternal and not have to deal with an extra connection menu.
Yeah, I would like to play Doom Eternal, the Quake Remaster, any of these things without just having Bethesda.net just
The Quake Remaster takes so long to boot because of that.
Yeah, it pisses me off. It sucks so much.
Yeah, if I even hook my system in rest mode and come back to Doom, it's like, I'm sorry, you have to wait. I'm like, it's insane.
And
honestly, Microsoft and Sony need to get together and be like, no more of these fucking additional platforms tying into our console. We are the platform.
Well, Microsoft's working on conglomerating, so, you know.
Yeah, I don't need this Trojan horse extra layer when I'm playing a thing. I don't want to log into an additional thing when I'm going to go play your game, unless it's like you're logging into an online MMO. It's like, I understand that, but I don't want to get into Uplay. Is it still called Uplay?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want or need that. So they put out this Platinum put out a trailer for Babylon's Fall this past week, announcing its first season of content that launches with the game, and it will be including.
Yeah, it has a fucking season pass. It has a fucking battle pass.
Yes, it has a battle pass.
$60 game. What are you doing?
For your $60 game, they are doing a Nier Automata collaborative event. So they're going to have like the enemies, some locations, stuff, and characters. Personally, I don't think it's wise for them to collaborate with another Platinum game that will, what I imagine, feel way better to play. But we'll see. Hopefully, no one will compare and contrast.
Man, this official combat trailer they released today is dire. It's just like characters doing animations in the budget dimension. Because they know if they show direct combat, like with a normal camera angle, everyone will tell how this game feels.
To me, Babylon's Fall is this year's Balan Wonderworld.
Yeah.
That's also how I feel.
Yeah, because we're going to hit the end of the year and you're like, what do you mean that came out this year? Just the same way Balan Wonderworld, where I'm like, oh shit, that was this year.
Yeah, it's a bummer, and I don't want to think about it anymore.
Yeah, they need to move past it. They need to hit that wall.
Yeah.
We need to do. We need to do.
Paint it on the wall.
Come on, dude.
We need to do a gamer premonitions right now.
Okay.
How many season passes will they? How many battle passes? How many seasons of content will this game have before it's done?
1.
I say 2 because they'll give you 1 you have to pay for. This first one's free. They said that the first battle pass.
Oh, the first one's free. Okay, then yeah, 2.
Okay, 2.
2.
Bob.
Yeah,
we're all in agreement too.
Yeah.
Before it's just like we're sunsetting content for Babylon's Fall.
Yep.
I mean, I assume the content is going to be really cheap. I mean, it's coming on over from Final Fantasy 14.
like
God.
I saw someone going, are they ripping animations from Monster Hunter? And someone like looked at a clip, and I'm like, who knows at this point, man? It sounds like they're not making
directly.
anything.
At this point,
not directly. I'm not gonna beat on them for that because Genshin does that. And I'm like, no, it was a good animation. They just made their own version of it. Whatever.
Yeah, their custom engine's perfect for, those animations or whatever.
And for balancing the spreadsheet.
God.
I'm sorry for shooting you with the dart.
We have to make the worst. Let's move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Next up, one of those countdowns ended. This is the one where there was transparently soul hackers. I was there to see the countdown finish, and it is for Soul Hackers 2. The game's coming out on PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC. Simultaneous worldwide launch, August 26th.
Wow, they've really learned. Now it's
they were
everybody
serious.
except Falcom, who is now on an 8-year scale.
Yes, they are. They said they were serious about this before, but I'm like, I need you to show
gotta
me
prove
beyond SMT5 because I'll just assume that was a Nintendo gig. But yeah, this is showing the stylish new game. They presented it in the most unhinged way possible, where they cut to the main character in cosplay in real life, fighting people in the street with weapons, and then spotlights appear with silhouette cutouts of different SMT demons. And then they go into the actual trailer for the game. This looks really nice.
It looks like it's using the demons from SMT5.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
oh,
that's
yeah.
the animations.
Like the mermaid looks identical.
Oh yeah, we are in that PS2 era.
I mean,
of
that
reuse.
rules. That rules.
I know.
There-
I've wanted
there-
this for so long.
People have been like, no, this is totally the Persona 5 engine, and I'm going on record as saying maybe I'm wrong, but I'm saying I don't think so because it's shipping on everything instead of Sony platforms only.
Yeah, and it has the demons directly from SMT5.
Right.
They're definitely not taking this.
And
this has
to
be
cut
Unreal.
off to cut off any comments, and for now and forever, you are not required to put the Unreal logo in your shit if you're using Unreal. In fact, you have to go through channels to be approved to do that because they don't want their engine and branding on just any random project.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, there definitely been games that shipped where it wasn't in the trailer.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't doubt that at some point.
Like I went and looked it up. It's like, no, you do not have to. In fact, we'd rather you not unless you jump through these hoops because you're using our logo and branding to market your thing.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine they went back to the Persona 5 engine after Unreal. Like that just
Especially
seems-
not if they're shipping on 5 platforms simultaneously.
and using the assets from SMT5. But yeah, this is really exciting.
Yeah, it feels like a dam broke over there.
Yeah.
Where it's like SMT5 came out, and they're like, within 9 months, a brand new game's coming out. The style looks really, really good, and I imagined it was going to have to look different. The last Soul Hackers had a really nice dystopian, 90s style, because that was a Saturn game from 1997.
Yeah, I was disappointed they went with
Like,
this style particularly because it just makes me think of like 5 different animes I've dropped after 3 episodes.
The character designer for this is
guy-
Shiro Miya, who did the character designs for Kisniver.
Yes, one of those animes
And
is that.
also let's see, they also did the illustrations for the Devil May Cry novel that you guys read on stream that one time.
Oh shit, an axe kick.
Yes. That looked very
And-
different.
and-
That was again 20 years ago or something.
Yeah, that was a while
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah,
I think their designs are really good. I also like the triangles, the Doritos that everybody's covered in. Cyberpunk Doritos.
I like the Cyber Dorito jacket that
It
the
looks
main character-
painful.
that the main character Ringo wears, as well as the Jack Frost equivalent of her. that just it looks great.
I'm
also
really
worried-
excited for this era, this gen of Japanese devs now have Unreal and are realizing that they can just port any assets they have in one game, reuse it in another game.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they barely have to do anything.
Yeah.
So we might be getting back to the PS2, PS1 level of like, no, you're getting like 4 games in this franchise this gen.
Yeah, hopefully we see that. I hope that we see a dub because this did not have one at all. Even the English trailer.
Yeah.
And it comes out this year, so that's a little.
If it's on everything, if they're bothering to put it on Xbox, I have to assume it's going to be dubbed.
With in this type of case, I have a bit more confidence where Atlas will usually dub something unless it's like end of era 3DS.
Right. Yeah. Typically they do.
Because most of
I'm
their
trying to remember,
3DS most of their 3DS catalog had more English voice acting than most PS2 games they put out, where it was massive. It was only in that last year and a half they're like, we don't care. It's on the 3DS in 2019.
I'm struggling to think of like a game Atlas put out that, not counting those 3DS games which aren't real, that didn't have a dub, that weren't dubbed.
It was especially crazy for Devil Survivor when they're like, we're gonna port this DS game. It's 80 hours long. We're now dubbing all of it. It never had VA before.
Was Tokyo Mirage Sessions dubbed?
No.
That's the only one that I feel like would.
Wait,
Okay. So
wait.
that.
In Japanese.
Yeah, I was like, that's right. Yeah. And this is going for that intensely Japanese style. So
Yeah.
maybe they'll just do it again.
But Tokyo Mirage Sessions was. I think that was more intensely it being a budget title. because we accidentally signed on to making a Wii U exclusive.
And also the idea of how do we localize and get English VAs to do those songs, because there's like 7 or 8 song
that's also a
performances in there.
nightmare.
So I feel like
I don't even feel like it's a question of this being dubbed. Like they're even dubbing Yakuza at this point. So it's somebody at Sega
that's
would be
still,
like, no, you're fucking doing it.
That's still wild to me. When they finally came back and they're like, yeah, we'll dub those.
Yeah, I really hope you're right.
Yeah.
I am very excited for this era, though.
Oh yeah,
This rules.
This is oozing with a really nice style. I like whatever cell shading or filters they're putting on the demons to make them pop out a bit more.
I'm excited for more games like this. Maybe we'll see something back with Devil Summoner. I have trouble getting excited for this, but maybe we'll get closer and I'll see more about it. That makes me want to play
make
it.
Make a new Digital Devil Saga. Also port those 2 games. I really fucking want those 2 games.
Maybe we could see some sort of Digital Devil Saga versus Raido Kuzunoha sort of situation.
Maybe, possibly.
God, I would fucking love a new Raido game.
Yeah.
Raido's
that's
so
what I was thinking
cool.
when I said Devil Summoner, because those are the ones I think of. I forget that there's also the other parts that I don't.
Yeah, I think it's really funny that they're like, we're cutting out all the subtitles on these from now on. So this is Soul Hackers 2 and not Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner Soul Hackers 2.
Yeah, that's good.
Persona 5S.
Okay, next up, we got some Final Fantasy 14 news. They did one of their usual live letters. This one was going to outline like their goals and stuff for the next 10 years of that game, since they just put out Endwalker. And this is some of the big highlights. Next month, we get the release of version 6.1 of that game, and they're going to retrofit the trust system into A Realm Reborn. This is going to make it so that in every dungeon in that main game, till you hit those credits, you can just play alone. You'll be getting AI party members to go through that. Depending on the story, sometimes it'll be people from the Adventurers Guild, just because they're like, it wouldn't make sense if this person who just left your party to go do things ran back to just appear for this dungeon.
I hope they use some of the NPCs that are just like hanging around your base.
Yeah, it sounded like they were saying they wanted to do stuff that made sense there, and it would help flesh out.
I want to do a dungeon with Hoary Boulder. I love Hoary Boulder.
Hoary Boulder's pretty good. They're also finally reworking the final set of story fights and dungeons in A Realm Reborn.
Thank fucking Christ.
There's a fight in there, a boss fight, that you team up with 8 people on, and everyone makes fun of it because he dies in 25 seconds. So they're just reworking it into a solo instance that you do, because that would make a lot more sense. And also chopping up pieces of the final dungeon so that it works more like the expansions do. And it is much easier to just clear on your own.
Yeah, so here's the pro, and I feel like we've explained it before, but I'll explain it again. The issue with the last 2 dungeons in Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn is that they are 8-person instead of 4-person. They have a shitload of cutscenes, so the problem that people would run into is a new player queues for this dungeon, gets 30 minutes of cutscenes, or 25 or whatever, comes out of the cutscene, and the party has rushed ahead and done the whole dungeon. And their bad solution for that was make all those cutscenes unskippable, insanely jack up your rewards for willingly doing them more than once, and just being like, that this is our solution. You can't skip the cutscenes, but if you do it so that new players still have people to do it with, we'll give you like 5 times the rewards for doing any other dungeon. Like, they cranked it through the roof. They also put it as its own category, so you had to specifically go one of these 2. They're the only 2 things on the roulette option.
Yeah, I will opt in for this. This is a much better change, especially for that final dungeon that now splits into a 4-man dungeon with some cutscenes, a separate boss fight that you group up with people, and then a separate solo final fight. To make it more sane in the way the expansions are. That's really great. It's going to make people who want to actually solo through that first chunk of the game, it's a lot more reasonable. They plan on, with each patch they're going to be putting out over the next couple of years, they're going to be adding more trust support for the entire main story. So by the time their next expansion comes out, you can reasonably solo like 90 to 85% of the entire main story of 14 if you want to. So that's great. I was wondering when they were finally going to like start rolling that out. They're also working on a graphical update for the game that's going to launch with the next expansion. They put up a lot of examples and stuff of like, hey, here's how the grass looks. Here's different surfaces. And this is after like a month of testing. And then they kept saying the visually, this will not look like a new game like Horizon or FF7 Remake. It will not look like that. And then Yoshi P says, when you go to bed, I want you to repeat that it will not look like a newly released game with a visual update patch.
They're adding in ray tracing.
Then they showed this, which I think is fucking hilarious. They're like, here's what the default character is going to look like. And then almost immediately they went,
no. They
went, no, see the shit, we're not making it.
They're like, we are not hiring that man and trying to make a photorealistic version of the character. And then they show a more stylized look for various character races. And I'm like, yeah, this is a really decent improvement.
They basically said this is going to be like a Yakuza game where you can tell if a character's more important because they got the visual update and other NPCs didn't.
Yeah, they talked about how that's going to be fucking with them so bad where they're like, we physically do not have the manpower to redo every single NPC, so sometimes it'll look a little weird, but we're going to do our best. But yeah, that's the 14 block. Good to see they're making some steps on some various stuff there. Last thing, last chunk of news here is a part of the other countdown. This countdown ended, and it was synced up to a fighting game tournament, so of course it was like 35 minutes late.
Yeah,
so dumb.
It was the one time I'm like, Daigo, just lose.
Lie down, man.
No,
we need
and then
this.
he started coming back, and I'm like, all right, don't turn me on your side.
Finding out that it was an exhibition
he needs that
match
money to
and
buy
not
Cheez-Its.
not really anything to do with the tournament. It
Oh
was
my
just like,
god,
please.
it was an exhibition match. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that made it so much worse.
Oh
And
my
then,
God.
Then we cut away from the match to have people talk about the match that's already ended. And they talk for like 10 minutes.
They're like, oh man, that was pretty cool. What were you thinking during the match? And then they all start going, Reese's Puffs, Reese's Puffs.
Eat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up. They had two announcements here. First up, Capcom Fighting Collection was announced. It's coming June 24th. This includes all 5 Darkstalkers games, as well as Red Earth, Cyberbots, Super Gem Fighter, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, and Hyper Street Fighter 2. Alongside some training modes, an in-game museum with hundreds of pieces of artwork and various stuff like that, as well as online that includes both rankings, leaderboards, and rollback netcode.
I hope it isn't plagued like the 30th anniversary collection was. I also hope you do another one of these with Third Strike and Rival Schools in them.
Yeah, it is just weird that we don't have Third Strike on modern platforms yet. And
like, dude,
yeah,
like there's no Alpha here, there's no Third Strike, there's no Rival Schools.
I mean,
like, you have like Red Earth and Third Strike are on the same engine.
Oh wait,
Street Fighter
3 and Alpha are all on.
Yeah,
Street Fighter 30th anniversary collection.
Yeah, but that's bad.
Yeah, but they won't acknowledge that. They will never fix that.
No,
it's too late. That was 4 years ago. It's old.
Yeah, that's the thing we have forever now. That's their way of preserving it.
Yeah.
And they got it done by the guy who's supposed to be a game preservationist. It's weird that it ended up in a way that has way too much input lag to be considered.
Input lag isn't real. It's inevitable. It's like the Borg. You need to stop fighting it, Bob. That's
like
basically
the Borg.
that's basically what his tweets read like. It was very funny.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I have to just sit here and be like, yeah, they're going to do the exact same thing for this.
Yeah, it's probably going to be very similar.
But yeah, it'd be great to see like Rival Schools and stuff also come back. All their 3D fighters that are stuck in arcade.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Or PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
But
Or Naomi.
Or Naomi. Yeah. So many cool games here. Like, I'm excited to play these again. And
Yeah,
have it
no,
online.
this is cool.
I was reading that 2 of the Darkstalkers games were never in the West. Or at least one of them just never made it over. It was a Japan only thing. So
Okay.
That sounds right.
I know jack shit about Darkstalkers other than I play it. And then somebody asked me to play it more than I play it. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I played it the exact amount I wanted to play it.
that was a nice 10 minutes.
And this will come out, and I'll do it again. And then we'll jump to the other games.
I'm interested
Red
in
Earth is cool.
Yeah, Red Earth seemed really cool. The way they described it, where they were just like the fighting RPG or some shit like that. I'm like, what?
I'm kind of interested in Cyberbots. That's the one that one dude from Marvel vs. Capcom's from, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Jin.
Yeah, Jin's from that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have much fun with it, but it's got a really neat style.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it is a really cool style. You get to choose your mech pilot separately from your mech. It's
Okay.
really neat. Like many games on this collection, I bet it will be neat to just futz with for at least an hour.
Right.
Yeah, mainly just dive into that museum and checking all the high quality art.
Yes.
Because even the 30th anniversary Street Fighter, they got the big JPEGs on that.
Oh yeah, we went through I think everything.
Uh-huh.
Like that is why you should buy this.
Right. Like the museum mode's so much better than the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
You should also get a Mister.
Yeah.
Get this and a
Unrelated.
Mister. Just that's the true combo. And remember, guys, for anyone who doesn't think otherwise, I'm going to let you know right now. This is the Capcom test.
Yeah.
It is
Obviously.
in effect.
If you are a Darkstalkers fan, you better buy at least one copy of this. If you do not have the platform it comes out on, you better buy it anyway.
Yeah, ideally 27 copies.
Yeah.
Yeah, as it turns out. Because the Capcom test is very real because they're psychotic.
Yeah. What if I buy it and want a Super Jump Fighter too?
Sorry.
Oh, well. I tried.
By mass, that collection was barely Gem Fighter.
Yeah. And the final piece of news and the thing that ended that Capcom countdown. Street Fighter 6 was announced. It was a very, very brief CG logo type of thing. It showed bearded, very wide Ryu and an updated look for Luke. There's going to be more info in the summer, and we learned through Twitter that Yusuke Hashimoto is on as a game designer. I dug into this a little bit more and how he credits himself. Digging into it, he credits himself the same way he did for Bayonetta 1, which would make him a producer on this game, unlike being in the director role like he was for Bayonetta 2 and Star Fox Zero.
I didn't realize Star Fox Zero was on his rap sheet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to go think.
Yeah, no, this guy's got a bad history, but he's worked as producer on a lot of things that are fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's fine.
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay, if he was in the same role as he was for the other ones, I would totally be doom posting on this podcast.
Yeah, like with Bayonetta 2, a lot of what I took away from it is that man overworked himself and was the enemy designer, the director, and the producer still, I think.
Oh, nothing's good when that happens.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just, you may not even be like untalented at that point. It's just,
I mean, and
it's-
we
Yeah.
you
and
put
we
too many-
and
put
then-
too
we
many
all know
hats on.
Star Fox Zero's fucking Miyamoto's fault.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's made
Star
out of
Fox
very-
Zero
the
was
amount
like
of
that. Miyamoto was in that office with a gun, and everybody would like, "What if we made the game good?" And then he cocked the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's the most unambiguous thing ever of Miyamoto ruined Star Fox Zero. Mm-hmm. It really is. I like how Luke looks in this. I think he looks much better than he does in 5. I don't think they should have put him
They
in 5.
shouldn't have. What were they thinking?
Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah,
have a question. Do you think this design was made first?
Yes.
Because I think so.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, probably.
People,
100%.
people already notice like he has scars now.
Yeah, they needed to show him as a fuckboy, so that way, he, for 6, they can show him as a fuck man.
Which I guess makes sense. It seems like we're getting a decent enough time jump where this is going to take place after 3.
I'm
Fucking finally.
Because
Hopefully.
people try to tell me that certain story modes in 5 are after 3.
Huh.
What?
Maybe. They do have a ton of characters.
Yeah,
I haven't
like
played
those-
through all of them.
Whose story mode could possibly maybe Oro's?
Yeah, I guess. They said like a couple of them are meant to take place after that, when I'm like, it's not like they have to put a lot of work into it. They just have Bengus make like 3 pieces of art and then make 2
Yeah.
fights. But
we haven't
like-
talked about the most important thing about this reveal.
what?
The fact it's the fucking Tekken 6 trailer from 2005 E3 Sony conference.
I thought you were gonna.
Me and Bob see that and we lose it. We're like, that's the same fucking trailer.
What are they
then
doing?
Harada says it.
Yes.
And we're like, holy shit.
Father of Tekken appears.
Because of course
his own trailer.
It's like, that makes sense because that's his own trailer. So of course him and us are the only people still living in that moment. to go, that's the same fucking trailer.
Yeah, but this might be an engine, whereas that definitely wasn't.
No, that's a fucking CG movie. This I actually believe is possible.
Yeah, like I said CG, but I meant it's an in-engine thing, because the RE engine be like that.
Yeah, Sony E3 2005 is basically a code phrase for not real at all.
Right.
They're gonna be using that. They're gonna be using like the tyrant body, like Resident Evil transformation tech to do Luke's forearms going all Popeye mode.
Exactly.
I mean, we already saw a little bit of that. It's
I know.
horrifying.
It's great.
I was gonna say I was wondering if they were gonna go hyper realistic, and then Luke's arms inflate, and I go, okay, they could probably do some wacky shit here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people seem weirdly confused. Like, yeah, it's still hyperrealism, even if you have things that are goofy. Like,
yeah, I know. I mean,
it looks like a human, not like a cartoon character.
Yeah, I feel like when people think about realism, they also think tone entirely, where it's like they're not going to do anything. No one's going to use magic anymore.
I mean, Tekken's realistic and has a fucking vampire and like a robot girl with chainsaws for arms.
When you talk about realism, people get really weird. People just get really weird when you talk about realism, where they just jump to an insane way that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I need to see how this looks like in a match.
Yes.
Let's see if things still read well and everything with this style.
I honestly wonder if this might not even be further away than Street Fighter V was when it was announced, because Street Fighter V was announced like 14 months before it came out. And but that the same day they announced it, they were like, here's a match between Chun-Li and Ryu. It looks basically like the final game. It shows you V triggers, it shows you V skills, it shows the super, it shows the knocking people into the fucking background when you win shit.
Which I forgot was even in that game.
This is just a CG trailer.
Yeah.
With this, it's
so I wonder if we're not like 2 years out, 2 or even more, maybe.
I could totally see this coming out like Q1 next year, where it's like, this was obviously the trailer for Capcom Cup, but they shelved Capcom Cup. And they put that there, and they're like, we'll save the gameplay reveal for E3 season.
Yeah, they said they're coming back in summer. I feel like to really judge how far it is, we need to see that.
Yeah,
100%.
Need to see like a chunk of characters, what your beta detail stuff is. This is the chance. This is the chance that this can come out and be good, and I can be like, Capcom's back, and someone doesn't say,
what about the fighting game?
What about the 8-year-old fighting game? I'm like, yeah, the one where they were dying and bleeding money and begged Sony for help.
Yeah, this is.
I wonder if this will also be exclusive.
Yeah, we also didn't get any platform announcement.
That's true.
We also got the worst logo I've ever fucking seen,
which they bought from an asset store,
which is funny as hell.
Yeah, that's dire.
I think that's a false logo.
Like,
I think they literally put up a
that logo
placeholder.
That logo is like the most demoralizing thing about this reveal.
I don't know. Even still with that logo, I'm just like, this is the most excited I've been for a Street Fighter game in a while.
It screams like we're leaning even harder into the esports shit, which obviously we have no idea, but that's just how the logo makes me feel. So they shouldn't use that logo.
I mean, there is a bit of UFC, you're in the cageness to that logo.
Yes, that is exactly how it feels.
Yes, there's
and personally, I'm of the opinion that all esports should be obliterated forever. Not competitive gameplay, not like people getting together and playing games, even for prizes.
I don't know,
I just
man.
mean it being on the business end.
Dude,
it should be destroyed.
What about Heroes of the Dorm?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Besides, if esports ceases to exist, Phil, what will bad gaming movies be about?
You know what, Dan? I don't know. I can't judge those movies. I guess we have to watch one.
Okay, we'll fucking do it.
Stop talking.
Good. I'm glad.
Fine then. I didn't want to eat anyway. Yeah, this got me really excited. The worst recent Capcom game, I feel like, is Resident Evil 3. That's a 9.
I mean, it came after that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like 3 more than 8. But I would point at Ghosts and Goblins.
Oh, yeah,
Ghosts and Goblins
true.
are right over there. I bought that. What a mistake.
Yeah, that's such a fucking... I forget that game exists because
it's technically on the RE engine even.
Yeah.
I
was like, the only disappointment here for me is that I was hoping we get to see a new art style that was like them using the RE engine for something that looks really different. And instead it's just, no, they're very human-like, which is fine. I'm still excited to see what people look like in this. I wish we saw more than just those two. Please.
I want to see Oro in this style.
Oh yeah, like the characters that have to be weird are like that for sure.
I want to see Dalsim in this style. God, can you imagine his fucking realistic arms stretching, his fucking chest expanding so he can do Yoga Fire?
Please show me Ken Masters' hair.
Yes. Watch it be the most immaculate thing in this game.
They have to. It's the thing that they've been made fun of the most. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I was down with them doing a more realistic art style because I've been utterly repulsed by their other Street Fighter game for so long. I'm like, just get it away from me. So
Yeah.
I'm willing to give this this new thing a shot where everyone doesn't look like
I mean, it just feels nice to be like Street Fighter 6, and I'm like, good, you spoke the magic phrase that puts 5 to rest.
Yeah, so a lot of the reason those commentators went so far after the match, it was their sign off to Street Fighter 5 in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it was just obviously that game is done. That's why I'm like, I don't know, maybe we're getting this thing out faster than we think, just because I don't think they want to do another Capcom Cup with this ever.
Yeah, I kind of get that vibe too. Absolutely.
Oh, that scares me because that's part of what caused the Street Fighter 5 thing, where it's like that game just shipped 6 months early on top of.
Yeah. Another thing that worries me is every Capcom game that uses the RE engine has super realistic graphics like this, has very few characters.
Well, I assume it'll be about the same size as Street Fighter 5, so like 18.
I'm talking
Something
those
like
other
that.
games have like 8 characters for like Devil May Cry, the Resident Evil games. They don't have many people.
Yeah, I think it'll be a little easier on this one, just from the fact that they're not trying to like scan in people as much.
I don't even know if they aren't.
They're like,
That'd be really weird if now like
we must
like Guile
find a
just looks
man
like
who
some
looks
dude.
like a Kuma.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also like but those game franchises never really had huge amounts of characters, so like it doesn't feel like there's some weird limitation in there. It just seems like the games they've done.
I don't know. I always think of
Have
Devil
that
May
many
Cry 5
characters.
where it's like, man, it's weird that Kyrie is a voice. It's weird that there's hardly like there's not a group of bosses really. There's a few monsters, and it doesn't feel like it's is full of fledged cast like Devil May Cry 4.
I mean, you're not wrong, but
Which it could
But
just
like
be down to these games.
1 and 2 didn't really have like a big cast of many bosses. I mean, 1 and 3 didn't really have a big cast of many bosses either. Like they were monsters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't really notice it.
And
except
5
for
does
Kyrie.
have like the monster. And 5 does have like the monster boss squad of the weird bird witch lady.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to see. Minor correction: Street Fighter V launched with 16 characters and not 18.
Ooh.
So that
Yeah, I just knew it was somewhere around there.
yeah, that is like the metric.
Yeah, if we can hit that, I'm fine. I'm just
Yeah.
worried we won't be able to hit that.
Capcom, I need one of these 4 characters to be in at launch. I don't care which. I either need Alex, Yurone, Rainbow Mika, or Birdie.
Okay.
I don't care which of those 4 it is.
okay, Bob, what's your list?
I need Makoto in this. She missed an entire game.
That is true.
So yeah,
That's it? Just
That's
that one?
it.
Oh, okay, that's a list.
I mean, there's obvious ones like, you want Sakura in there, of course.
I'm going to need, because I'm a basic bitch sometimes, Evil Ryu.
You know what I'm gonna say? I need no Final Fight characters.
We
I'm
definitely
gonna
don't.
I'm gonna go more specific than that even. I need Doctrine Dark.
Yes.
Oh shit!
Returns.
I think I need G or Q or both.
Q's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Q
Yeah.
would be great.
If I can't have Q, bring back the world's president.
I think it'd be really neat if he's like one of the main antagonists in this.
Yeah, I feel
like Gil's opposing force.
Yeah, they set that up, so hopefully
Yeah, I
they
mean-
deliver.
Yeah, and timeline wise, it really should have Q. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd like that, and then there's other obvious characters, and I like a lot of the mainstays, and there will never be another Street Fighter game that doesn't have Jury in it, I feel like. The amount of costumes that bitch has gotten.
Yeah, she's clearly one of the most popular characters in the
Which
series
is why
now.
she'll be DLC.
Oh.
Oh yeah, probably.
She was DLC in 5, yeah. So at launch, probably not.
Yeah.
Season 1, I bet.
And was in a chunk of the story mode, so just like Guilty Gear Strive, where it's like, here's the rest.
Yeah, story mode let you play as like every DLC character before they even came out.
Yeah, and then people just hacked them into multiplayer.
Yeah, that was funny.
Story mode itself
And then
came out
found
really
out-
late.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out like. I'm excited for story mode. I'm one of the freaks who cares about the story of Street Fighter and would like it to progress.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Another weird thing that Ryu is wearing footwear. What?
He is.
This is the first time since 1.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought he wore sandals at any point.
I don't think he ever wore sandals. He wore shoes in 1, though.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
What if one of the characters in this game is Super Chad Jacked Sean? Because it's after 3.
Oh, that would be the best comeback ever, where
That
it's just
would be
like,
great.
Sean's the Chad now.
after being emasculated in 5, and just like you're just lame.
Yeah, that would be.
You're not even playable.
I definitely need Sean to come back as a Chad, and he doesn't throw basketballs anymore. He throws people.
Yes. You should also bring in 12.
I would like to see 12 in high fidelity.
Yeah, that would be sick. I'm super excited for what other redesigns they may do. If they're willing to touch Ryu and say, yeah, his default he's wearing a beard and just shirtless with sandals.
I hope we also see alternate costumes. It's another thing we don't get too much in RE Engine games. We got it. I guess we did get it in the Resident Evil games. So
Yeah, like Resident Evil has like they had the like 90s outfit, but they also had like a couple of alts.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Because I like Ryu's new look, but it's gonna feel weird if you can't just have him wear a full gi.
Doubtless.
That shit makes way too much money for them to be like, no, it's too hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's not a doubt in my mind. There will be 40 Chun-Li costumes you can buy.
There will definitely be DLC you can buy for outfits, but in the base game, who knows?
Yeah, it would be very smart of them to do what they did with the DLCs, where it's just their current costume, their classic costume.
Right.
And then they had like a story costume, but I won't fly too close to the sun on it. But I'm excited. Here's hoping they have a chunky game to show in a few months.
Same.
Yeah, I don't want something that's released half-baked like 5 was.
I'm like, you've been doing fantastic. I need you to thread this needle too really badly.
I hope it comes out that this has been in development for like a really long time.
Or at least
Like they started,
or at least longer than 5.
like 2 or 3 years ago.
Well, that's it for news. That's everything. We've talked about everything that is and ever was.
Yes.
Yep.
I hear Elden Ring comes out in the next week.
Cool.
That's what we're all doing.
Yes.
Yes, it's out in 12 minutes.
I started losing it because someone just posted, because people are getting it early through various means. You know, fucking New Zealand, whatever. Just posted the first thing the waifu says, where she calls you maidenless, and then the replies just filled with Megamind going, no bitches.
I've seen art of someone who drew her with no maidens.
So wait, is there maidenless behavior in this game?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yes, that's your behavior as a tarnished.
Oh no.
Just wait until you fight the varnished.
Oh no.
This is gonna be the one game where every premonition is true.
Awesome.
Oh no, the best dex weapon's gonna be behind that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, man, let's go.
Aggro's already right.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. If you would like to support us, head on over to www.patreon.com/gbpodcast, where you can get extra podcasts and early access to our anime podcast, Chugging Bleach and Mondo Cool. Head on over there and become a $5 backer or podlord today. This month's GigaBoots videos were brought to you by the continued support of our executive producers, such as Esme, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, Burning Pepsi Man, Adam Admar, Cooper Tank, and Virmvarm. Thank you very much to our executive producers, and also these gamers. If you want to support GigaBoots so we can continue the content crunch, then head on over to patreon.com/GigaBoots today.